All right, all right. Yes, it's that time again. Time for another open court discussion live in the counselor's corner. I am your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the controversial counselor. Joining me as my co-host, the big bad wolf, Herb Lewis.
Oh.
We also have the lovely Jackie Brown on the panel.
Blessed evening, everyone.
And you know the drill for the rest. It's a showtime decision. You come as you may. Um, all right. So if you're interested in joining the panel and up and coming shows, you can always hit myself and Herb up, and we'll give you further directions. Okay, recap from this past Monday's broadcast. Dating once. Are women delusional or are men stubborn? Here are a couple of reasons women are delusional based on their irritable moods and overinflated sense of worth. So those was just a couple. We ain't gonna debate that right now. uh, and also, as far as men being stubborn, it deals with us being too strong-willed and our constant resistance to change. So if you're interested in that content and want to find out about more what was said, then check out the replay on YouTube. All right. So moving right along to tonight's show, we will lead off with how concerned are women when they go out on dates? And that's in regards to, having concerns about, you know, violence, assault, verbal abuse, and different things like that. But here's the miracle question involving this topic. If you ask a man his worst date, he will more than likely tell you a funny story. But ask a woman to tell you about her worst date, she will tell you about a man who followed her home shouting that she was, a F and T's. Uh, so you see the difference. So we're going to go deeper on this subject matter. But let's shift our focus for segment two. So hey, sir, here are some signs that women are not into you anymore. So this was pretty much when, we often talk about women hitting the wall, but what about when you lose that mojo and you ain't got it no more? You was that dude once upon a time, and then you start, get older, and shit ain't happening for you. You can't buy a date. Uh, so some of the telltale signs early are, um, women may flake on dates with you. I mean, pretty much sell you a dream. Oh, they want to hang out, they want to do this, but it never goes down. You sitting around, coat zipped up, ready to go, and there's no call, no show, uh, and you get left shit at the altar. Um, she takes hours to reply to your texts. When you see her, she avoids eye contact or physical contact with you. So those are just a couple things to get the party started. So please like and share our video, and don't forget to tell a friend to subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. We are currently sitting at 607 subs, so we did crack the 600 mark. Now we push it for 650, like little small steps. Then once you get to 650, you try to focus on hitting that 700 mark. Remember, the ultimate goal is to reach at least 1,000. Then after that, hey, the sky's the limit. But YouTube sets the bar for one of the criterias for modernization is 1,000 subscribers. So we're slowly climbing and getting there. So that's pretty much it. We're here. It's been a it was a long week, fast weekend. What's going on with you, Herb? Jackie, talk to me.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, very overwhelmed with the hospital system in regards to my grandmother, and we need to get somebody or some people involved with her care and stuff. So the hospital's not doing their jobs. So that's where I'm at. Frustration.
Understandable. The help is bad all around, pretty much. Some troubled times.
Really and truly it is. And it's sad when you're at the hospital having meetings with people and they're trying to in like encourage you to say, well, they're going to do their jobs or whatever. But then when you go up there, no. And then you have to start talking to people about doing their jobs, and then they get offended, and then they want to get you kicked out the hospital. Trust, it's been something. It's like the whole family. We go up there separate times. They don't listen. We record them. We listen. We document everything, and these people are very, 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 very not liking none of it. They're trying to put us all out every time we come, and that's not okay. So we're going through a lot on this end. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna shut up now.
No, I think it's important that that type of information is put out here, because I have a high school classmate who's going through something similar with her mother. So trust and believe, you're not the only one, especially with people in our age demographic. You're not the only one that's struggling with that type of care in the healthcare system. That concern, rather.
Well, we need somebody to step in. Then we need some outside help. I did call the Attorney General's office to see if I can talk to Letitia James in regards to it, because there's too much going on. Too many people don't want to do their jobs when they're at work, and it's really sad. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's tough.
and I think a lot of it is sometimes people. I think they're feeling like in many places people feel like they're overworked and underpaid, and their mentality is, I'm not doing all that shit. I'm not doing all of this. And that's the mindset, unfortunately, how it is. And when you think about healthcare and dealing with the elderly, you want the best care for your aging family members, but so much is entrusted in the support staff. I mean, you had the doctors and nurses, but those medical techs and medical assistants and nursing assistants, they're the ones that's on the floor, and their role is critical. And a lot of them feel like they're not getting paid enough, and they feel like, oh, we're doing the majority of the work, but we just don't have the education behind our name. So a lot of them, their heart is not into it, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we face that every time we go up there, and we realize that a lot of people don't show up to work, and we also realize that a lot of them don't really care anymore, because you see it in their actions. And when we just had the ice storm, everyone called up. I know I did, and just to check in, and they're saying no changes. And the crazy thing is, my grandmother is changing so well. She is literally responding again. She's responding to commands. She will let you know if something is wrong. We're trying to see if she'll write for us again. All of that she was going through before the brain swelling got so bad till she wasn't responding. Now she's coming back, and they're not doing everything they need to do. So we're going up there, we're massaging her, doing everything that we're supposed to do physically, just to try to make sure, talking with her, praying over her, all of this stuff, just to make sure that she's moving, like circulation and stuff. It's like a lot. It's a lot. We have a whole regimen when we go up there. It's a lot because they're not doing these things like they're supposed to. So it's a lot.
Well, I hope things change for the better. I mean, you only can hope and pray. I mean, the thing is, it's going to still be them same workers. So, I mean, sometimes your hands are just tied in certain situations. And I guess when you and the family there, y'all just have to give y'all best love and support as you can. And
yeah, it's called attorneys. It's called everybody else that can come in the picture right about now. So we're on that.
And hopefully some of them workers will see the love that y'all show, and they'll rally around it. But you never know.
Yeah, good thoughts. Sorry, I'm a mute.
Herb, anything going on with you?
Nah, man, just the regular, after football season settling in grind, man. I think I'm going to transition to the workstation down here. That way I can actually start typing up stuff for the book. It's actually, it's funny putting all this together. Every time I come up with a solution to a problem, I run into another problem. So it's truly a work in progress, and I'm actually really having fun doing it because now I get to kind of flesh out ideas. It's funny how you start to build something, and in the midst of building, you see an imperfection in it, and you say, "Okay, I have to address this quote unquote flaw because I don't want to put something out here that's reflective of myself and is half done." So when I put this out there, I want to make sure that you know not only does it reflect well of me, but it actually reflects well of me. So, writing this stuff up, I come up with this and I say, well, I need to address this. Let me address this. And now I see why you did a revised edition of the book. And I was going to ask you about that. I'll probably do that off air too. But I'm really having a lot of fun doing this, man. And, I hope it's well received, even when I put it out there, especially when we start bringing some of the questions here to the controversial counselor platform. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, it becomes your baby, so you take care of it, and it's something different when you start building a brand of your own, when it's something that's yours and it's sacred to you and you have the passion about it. All too often we spend our time building other people's brand and trying to represent what their values are, but then once you start teetering off and doing your own thing, you're like, man, this is feels good doing this, and you can't wait to get to it. I remember going through in my process of getting my book. I couldn't wait to get off work, to get home and get at it. And it was like a second job. And shit, to be honest, sometimes before I even got off work, I was trying to get in some time, valuable time with it.
Yeah.
So, enjoy the process. They always say the process. Well, the great John Wooden said the process is always greater than the end. Meaning that's the stuff you talk about during the process. Then you get the end result, uh, award-winning book or whatever the case is. But the process is the things that you're going to talk about. Those are the memories that you're going to look forward to. And you already know, if you need anything, let me know as far as publishing and how to get in the Library of Congress and all of that stuff.
Well, hopefully for me, this will be the first of many written works that I do personally, because I like to write. And the older I get, the more I realize that writing for me becomes therapeutic. And it also becomes a way that I can express things without pointing the barrel of the gun at anyone in particular, more or less at the ills that we have to deal with in society that, a lot of people just in large don't know about, and I think that's one of the things that the Black Manosphere is kind of shedding light on. So, there's the talk of passport bros has exploded. I mean, I see all this coverage on it now, and I'm just like, last year, the only people that knew about it were the people that were doing it, or the people in the Black Manosphere. Now you see people in Asia talking about it, people in the Caribbean talking about it, people in Europe talking about it. I'm just like, yeah, it's real. It's real.
The thing
so for
is,
people, that don't think, go ahead.
I said, the thing is, even in the counselor's corner, is a microcosm of society when you and some of the others were introducing, and we had other panel members, and people were like, what the hell are y'all talking about? They were foreign to some of the things that were being said, and yet they were being schooled. Then all of a sudden you start seeing other people who were late to the dance start posting about stuff like they struck gold, and I'm like, man, we've been talking about this shit. We've been talking about this years, and but people late. But we're gonna get ready to get going, and for me, it's just the school thing. It's that time of the year. It's bonkers. It's bonkers, and I always like to give you a side note, maybe a conversation I had where these kids' heads are. So if you're a parent and you're listening, and again, if you got a middle school, high school kid, these are the type of conversations we're having. And I'm gonna give you a quick dialogue with in one of my students, and I had made a post on Friday that said one of my students had moved in my office, pretty much moved in, but the dialogue maybe the dialogue the day before that was, Mr. Glover. I'm like, yeah. She was like, you got a shorty? And I'm like, why wouldn't I have one? She's like, I don't know. I said, but then again, I said the last time we had talked, you had said you think I'm lonely as fuck. AF. And then she was like, no, I was just saying if you didn't have a shorty, I was gonna hook you up with my grandmother. And then then when you think of grandmother, we have to realize that freaking grandmothers are 30 something years old in this day and age, when before you think of grandmothers, you think of 50s, 60s, 70s, and I'm 52. And I'm like, then I had to fall back. I said, well, your grandmother must be kind of young. Then she was like, she in her 50s. She was like, so how old are you? And then, I always got to, feed that, live with them, play around with. I said 73. So she had to think 73. Nah, you ain't 73. You don't look 73. And then, so then she, she processed it. Then she was like, but wait a minute. If you 73, and mind you, this is a battle I don't fight. If they get out of hand, I correct them. But I'm not about to fight a battle of telling them about cussing and all that stuff. That's what they do. That's what they hear. So it's kind of that's a battle that you're not going to be able to. You'll wear yourself out trying to stop every little word, because in the hallway, that's what you hear. Just where you're at a tavern. Some of the stuff that come out their mouths. So she was like 73. So I'm sitting here thinking 73. Well, why the hell am I sitting here talking to some old ass man who giving me advice? I said, oh, you can't take advice from the elderly? And she was like, man, 73. She said, you shouldn't even be here. And I said, where should I be? She said, you should be planning your damn funeral. I was like, mind you, this is 8th grade. This is a 13-year-old. So these are the conversations.
That's a lot. That's a lot, the whole lot.
Yeah. These are the conversations I have on a day-to-day basis all day long. So which y'all think that happens in school, it's a whole lot more going on. And some parents see it. They see it, especially during transition time. It's like, oh my God, how do I get out of here? Like, this is crazy. I don't know. Thank you guys so much. I don't know how y'all deal with this. So this is, and it's just amping me up to come up with the book Middle School Madness, because I'm like, I dropped this. Yeah, it could be a game changer for what you think goes on in your child's mind at the age. And this is a rated PG version. I got rated X stuff. I really do. But that's for another time.
I can believe that.
Oh my God. But it brings me also joy that they feel comfortable talking to me like that, because they know I'm not going to judge them or kick them out, or like I'm about to call your parent. I'm going to let them talk. I'm going to let them get their stuff off to see where they're at. And they're wild. It's wild. But needless to say, the girl who moved in, she got evicted at dismissal time, and she honored her eviction and moved her stuff out. All right, so tonight's discussion: how concerned are women when they go out on dates? And I know, Herbert, you had said
you know what?
they shouldn't be. When you said they I don't know, maybe it's just the statistics say they shouldn't be, or they're not reporting that.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of
Mhm.
wondering um, what you got for us on this subject matter about the level of concern of going on
Well,
dates.
I went and looked at the FBI crime numbers, and these were dated 2019. So yes, they are a few years old. I will caution that, but the most common crimes were listed as following, and these are based, I believe, uh, um, I'm sorry, I can't remember the proper term. 1,000 people: property crimes, burglary, aggravated assault, motor vehicle theft, robbery. And robbery was based on a occurrence per 1,000 citizens. And then EPAR, being that any type of sex crimes, particularly EPAR, and you spell that backwards, and I'm only going to say this once because the algorithms are sensitive to this, that's rape. Okay, it's the only time I'm going to mention that. Okay, that was the fifth most reported crime according to the FBI crime stats 2019. Now, being that that is mostly committed against women and kids, we are only going to discuss females in that regard. And that's defined as non consensual vaginal or anal penetration. All right. Um, the occurrences of this crime generally happens when an assailant is known to the victim. Reports are anywhere from 70 to 75%. So the odds of something like that happening to a woman going out in a bar or any type of other social setting is extremely limited. That's not to say it cannot happen. That's not to say it won't happen. It just means that it's extremely limited. So you going out to a social function, whether it's a bar or a prearranged meeting, and having somebody take advantage of you like that, not really going to happen according to the statistics. Now that's also going to depend on where you are. If you're in a place that's upscale where there's police all around, the odds probably drop even more. So I just want to, put that out there. Also, we are in a landscape where dating has changed. And I know women are accustomed to not having to pay, not having to pursue or make the first move. Women, those days are quickly coming to an end. You're going to have to pay in one way or another. We've already discussed on this platform going Dutch. That's one of the ways that women are going to have to pay. You might have to make the first move. You might have to send a guy that you're interested in a drink. Depending on where you are, $6, $7, $8, $10. Find out from the bartender what's he drinking. Tell the bartender next round's on him, and tell the bartender, say, hey, you know what? Point me out. Tell him I'm interested in talking to him. It doesn't have to be anything ostentatious, but it has to be overt enough for the guy to know that you're interested. Because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. All the things that adversely affect men when it comes to this, and Me Too is big. Having somebody try and clown you or socially isolate you, those things are real for men. A lot of women may, what's wrong with being rejected? It's not being rejected, it's being made fun of. There's a difference between somebody telling you no and somebody say, hey, look at this idiot here. Look how he's dressed. And you think I want to talk to him? That is the type of behavior that will make men just stop approaching women altogether, no matter how attractive she might be, no matter how driven he might be to meet her. Okay? So we know clubs and bars are replaced by dating apps, Netflix and chill, and any other iteration of that you can come up with. So how do you get by that if you're a woman? One of the ways that we were discussing last week is you create events. You go to fundraisers, go in groups of 2 or more. And if you can't go with somebody, let somebody that you trust know where you are. Let them know what your itinerary is. And if anything changes, let that individual know. So somebody knows where you're supposed to be, who you're gonna be with. I know that may sound like, well, I'm a grown adult. I don't have to do that. You're correct. You don't. But that's not to say you shouldn't if you're concerned about your well-being. Mind you, we're talking about dating and safety for women who are concerned about those things. Because when I posted in the counseling school, I had a few people answer, and I didn't get a chance to thank those women. So I'm grateful for the information that they gave. Some women weren't concerned about that. Some women were. Some women were concerned about the integrity of the man they might come across. The first thing I would tell any woman when you're dating or looking for a prospective mate is you have to be honest with yourself. And I know people say, well, I'm always honest with myself. Are you? I mean, seriously, what's on your have list as opposed to a want list? There's a difference, and I'll get into that some other time. But there's a difference between a have and a want. So if you plan on drinking, and I'm not talking about 1 or 2 drinks, there's Uber and Lyft. So you don't have to worry about getting into a DWI accident. You don't have to worry about driving yourself home or somebody taking advantage of you. Call.
Can I chime in with that?
Absolutely.
So I sent out quite a few things to some people yesterday, and I didn't even realize it would actually come up on this topic at this time. But
everything comes up on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this, and this is for everyone to actually know. So I'm gonna play it. Hold on.
People don't know about this. If you're at a bar and you feel
this will unclog.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Hold on. I don't know what just happened. Sorry, I just hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm going right back to it right now. Oh, all right. Bear with me, you guys. Here we go. Okay. Here we go.
unsafe, go to the bartender and order an Angel shot. Order it neat and the bartender will escort you to your vehicle. Order it with ice and they will call you an Uber or Lyft. Order it with lime and they will call the police. This could save your life, and I can't believe more people don't know about this. If you're at a bar and you feel unsafe, go to the bartender and order an Angel shot. Order it neat and the bartender will escort you to your vehicle. Order it with ice and they will call you an Uber or Lyft. Order it with lime and they will call the police. This could save your life.
That's it. So that's interesting, and I'm glad I learned that last night. So I think that's very vital for every woman.
Oh, so that's like a code.
Right.
Absolutely.
Ask for Angel shot, and however way you ask for it, they'll either walk into your car, call the police, or call you an Uber.
So that kind of ties in with some of the things that when I looked up this topic that women had concerns about, like dating someone and you figure out, damn, this dude got low self-esteem, or a low level of education. As you get to talking, had delinquent behavior as a youth. People try to, again, dismiss the fact that people don't have a past and that don't have anything to do with their adulthood. You're a damn fool in sheep's clothing if you don't think somebody's family and upbringing and all that stuff has anything to do with their adulthood. I don't give a damn how successful or whatever they went on to do. There's gonna be some fallback or something that comes up from their childhood that will surface. And, heavy alcohol, drug use, depression, and suicidal attempts. And some of that may not come out on the first date. It may come out down the road. But these are genuine concerns, or somebody that simply don't have any social or problem solving skills. Well, shit, that's a lot of folks. A lot of folks. You know why that is? Because a lot of people get their professional development through Facebook. That's where they get development from. And the trainers that's schooling them on it ain't worth a damn. The ones that they're following and all that stuff. So, man, you got to get out and get something, do something different, get trained, get educated. Facebook can't be your source of your knowledge on a day-to-day period. You got to read books, purchase books, whatever the case is. It just can't be from social media. I'm sorry. If that's how you enhancing in your knowledge base, you're gonna be a big ass dummy, an old dummy too. All right,
Yeah.
I'm off my soapbox.
And to what Jackie posted, those are very helpful, particularly if you are in a location that you're unfamiliar with. I know when I did security at a local mall here in Niagara Falls, we had an acronym called NORA, NORA. If something was happening at a place of customer service, because this is where they would normally use the term, they would get on the radio and they would just say NORA. That was an acronym for need officer right away. And we would respond accordingly. So anything that can enhance your protection, I would advise you partaking in it. So, intoxication, especially once I know in college, I believe once you get into adulthood, that doesn't change much. But alcohol and drug use, whether it's legal or illegal, those are the two surefire ways to get yourself into trouble as a female. Because now you're compromised, your judgment's off, your ability to discern things and situations becomes compromised. So we always hear about, well, she didn't give consent. What's consent? The best way to keep yourself out of those particular situations is to not go where you didn't plan on going. It's that simple. If you didn't plan on meeting a guy at his house, don't go. If you didn't plan on meeting this guy at a particular bar and doing anything with him, don't do it. That's not to say you can't engage in conversation, but keep the conversation in the bar. Keep the conversation in that particular place, even if you might be quote unquote feeling this guy, because you're operating under the guise of safety, not under the guise of you want to do something long term. If you want to do something long term, take his number. Don't be afraid to call. Don't be afraid to text first. There's nothing wrong with that. People who tell you that you're being thirsty, don't listen to them. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you see something that you genuinely want and it's not of a dating nature, in other words, it's money, you're going to go for it. Why should your happiness be placed second? If you find something or someone that you think you're going to connect with, why would you not pursue that avenue? But do it under the guise of safety. We see now, an imbalance in the rise of guys who are what they term incels. And incels, for people who have never heard of the term, is called involuntary celibate. In other words, they're not having not only consistent sex, they're not having any sex with women. And that for men 30 years of age or younger is rising. And, like I tell people, I never get lucky when it comes to sex. It's for me, it's planned. Women, if you know you want to have sex with a man, make sure that you are comfortable with where it's going to take place. I can't stress that enough. So if you've never been to his home, go there, check out the area. Go there, check him out. Go there and see what he's about before you commit to that activity. So you see what kind of man you're dealing with. And ask him questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And more importantly, don't be afraid to walk away. Because you lose nothing in walking away if you don't feel safe and if you don't feel this guy is going to be, excuse me, if this guy is not going to be in it past the orgasm. I know women are always concerned about their body count, their need to keep something from men in hopes that the man is going to commit. The only way that man is going to commit is if he has something to commit to. Sex is not going to make a man commit. I'm here to tell you. There are men out here who are having sex left and right, especially the men that are attractive and well-to-do. They only commit to the orgasm. And the way you find out that is you ask them. I've said it on this platform before, and I'll say it again. People boo-hoo, they cry. They say, oh, that's not real. You don't know. Put it on the table. Ask them. And don't listen to what they say. Watch how they react. I've said it once, and this is part of what my book is predicated on, is watch how they react.
Well,
If they react shocked and surprised, generally they are. But then if they respond with, yeah, I'll take it, you won't deal with them.
one
Any
of the
man that's not going to ask you, why would you say that? That's all he's in for. That's a nugget. Go ahead, David.
one of the things is, again, we get poor advice from people, and a lot of times you women, y'all go to hell and back with your best friend from kindergarten, but she ain't shit. She don't know nobody that's been that's shit. Her mama ain't shit. Her daddy ain't shit. Eh, but that's who you trust with everything. Same thing with guys. Your homie, man. I always think back to some of the conversations I heard, and I would say I had to be the biggest damn dummy in the world to listen to some of the stuff that they were saying. Sometimes you just gotta sit back and think and reflect and understand and know your personnel and say, man, ain't nowhere in hell I'm listening to this person. They have nothing to give, nothing to offer. And sometimes you have to seek out other feedback from someone else that that has a successful um, path in whatever particular answers you're looking for. Because your homegirl from kindergarten, that ain't it all the time. That's not it. Not in all cases, because sometimes they could be up on the up and up. But my experiences, from what I know, that usually is not the case. Usually, and I'm gonna say this, and people might not agree. Usually, some of the most solid relationships you have are people that you may went to college with,
Mhm.
people that you work with,
Mhm.
and they kind of bypass those old friendships you had growing up because you got a different level of connection. So which keeps you motivated or conversating with those individuals. LaQuisha may not may not I'm not even gonna take it down this I'm not even gonna take it down this road. Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Yeah, I know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna pass the mic.
Yep. So the other thing, you know, women are concerned about is meeting a man of good moral standing, good quality, moral character. We've said it before. Set up something. And the way you can do this, women, if you like to cook, and this is something we talked about last week, have a baking contest. And you know who you go to find who are judges? Men. Go look at your city council. Some of you go to church, invite some of the middle-aged men there. Don't necessarily have to be the deacons, don't necessarily have to be the pastors, can be family members of theirs. Generally speaking, they breed good people. Go find people sitting on your school board. Tell them, hey, it's for a good cause. We're having a bake contest. You don't have to pay anything. We just want you to be a judge. These are all people who are visible in your cities, in your communities. Generally, you don't have to worry about them working, being good, morally upright people. That's not to say you're not going to find one or two. They exist in all walks of life. Okay, so you can address that there. Like I said, bowling leagues. I know people, some people, oh, bowling is an old people sport. Oh, I don't like to bowl. We keep telling y'all consistently, get out of your shell. David is always saying, in order to get comfortable, you got to get uncomfortable. Take dancing lessons. We have a friend here. I have a friend, and David knows him too, Lorenzo Howard. He DJs I can't even kind of recall what kind of music, but the pictures he's always showing, hundreds of people there dancing, having a blast.
Hold up, Herb. Hold up. Not to call you out.
What's wrong with dancing?
I'm still waiting for your ballroom.
I haven't
I'm still waiting on that shit. Your ballroom dancing expedition. And that's been a
I only
couple
had the
years.
one opportunity to go, man, and then everything just started cropping up and falling into place. But you know, I still get emails from her, and I mean, she's still teaching. So I'm just saying, women, it's out there. Go take dancing lessons. Go take them. It's all this I'm telling you is so you can expand your portfolio of social connections. Because the more connected you are, the better your chances increase of finding somebody who you can connect with. Poetry readings, live theaters, art classes, wine tastings, grand openings, music events, jazz. You don't find too many hoodlums hanging around jazz. So if you're concerned about your safety, stuff is happening in the middle of the day, find you a lawn chair hangout, strike up a conversation with somebody. Who's your favorite jazz artist? What do you think about Coltrane? And if you don't know who they are, then go read up on them. Go listen to their music. Go get involved. All of this stuff, these are things that you can do that are extremely safe, where you don't have to worry about coming under attack.
Oh, before you go on, I'm gonna let Sergeant Charles come in. Ladies, when he said take dancing lessons, yeah, many of y'all need. I'm not no dancer, so I'll admit that. But a lot of y'all think because y'all make those facial expressions and duck lips and all that stuff when you dance, it mean you can dance. Some of y'all need some damn lessons for real. That don't mean you can dance. That don't mean you can dance. But that's on a whole different dancer level because I know I need dancer level lessons, but I probably never take them unless it was private. But I would never do that. But a whole lot of people think they could dance, and just because you make facial expressions when you dance, don't mean you can dance. I'm just gonna say that, and I'm kind of being I can't even think of the word right now. Facetious right now with that, but we're gonna
Facetious.
we're gonna let Sergeant Charles in here. What's good, brother?
Whoa!
It's been a minute. How you been?
Whoa! Sometimes people call me officer of the goddamn law, and I have to remind myself and them it is now sergeant of the goddamn law.
That's right.
I like to be called by my proper titles, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm still the commander of my own security firm. And March 12th, I shall be going to Colorado to ESI, one of the top 3 schools for private security, executive protection, corporate security management in the world, paid
Wow.
for by the VA. Guess what? $30,000
Good
I don't
deal.
have to pay. I'm gonna take it. So kids, join the goddamn military and reap the rewards and benefits. Woo! Now, lay it on me thick, controversial counselor, because I don't think you get more controversial than yours truly.
That's real stuff that you talk in ways that you can navigate and build. So that's a good thing, and I'm
Not
glad
only
to
can
see your
you
stuff.
build, guess what? Here's one of the key things, and you don't mind if I give the young men game, right?
Oh, you give them game. They need game. They need hella game.
Yeah.
I've never seen a woman who resists a man in uniform. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you. Any woman that says she never likes a man in uniform, she never seen a man at all. Whew.
All right, ladies. If y'all in the chat or
I'm
something,
I'm not sure if I should comment or not, but okay.
well, you should.
I've never seen it. It does not exist because guess what? I'll tell you many of times when I came on the scene, with especially, oh my God, especially with the short sleeve shirt, the nice press uniform with the nice arms. Oh, well, you can see the brachial vein just separates the tries from the buys.
I cannot with this one. Wait a minute. Where we at? Is a commercial for you or what?
I mean, guess what? It's not a
Wow.
commercial for me, but when you live it, you do it. So,
Well, sir, I must say I do agree with you in regards to that. I mean, you added a lot of fluff, but I agree with you. I mean, it's just the same as um, us women loving to see a man dressed in a suit,
I mean, you saw
dressed, dressed, even if it's
here
not
you
a
go.
suit.
Here you
Pardon?
go. Here you go. Just look at the avatar. Just look at the
Oh,
avatar.
avatars. I'm looking at avatars now.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Showing
Here
those
you go.
guns.
It's too
Showing
small on
those
my phone.
guns.
I cannot see that. I am so sorry.
You can see it. Just put
Good
it
Lord.
on the Segal. Just put it
Okay,
on the
well,
Segal.
I'm
Just
gonna
put it.
get onto my side right here. I'm gonna come on since my phone has some juice. I'm gonna come on through my other line because I need to see it. It's gonna be bigger on this. I'm on a smaller phone. That's why I
Hey,
came in with Empress J because I'm not
hey,
on.
you know what they say. Things are much bigger than what they appear to be.
Good
But
Lord
anyway,
Jesus. Good. Where we at?
I mean, hey, you give a good man an inch, he's gonna give you a mile. But anyway,
Wow. 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 Mr. Glover, let me in once I get in with my other device. Wow. I have never been wowed so much before on this show. Good
I
Lord.
know,
I keep seeing some pictures. I gotta,
I
Lord
know. That's what
Jesus.
See,
I
Jackie,
know.
you reached. You was at a point when it's been subdued. So you don't know what went down in the counselor's corner
I
on a regular
see.
basis.
I
You don't
I,
know because
understand
I
it.
I
am,
have to.
listen, I
I
am
have.
floored. You know I'm new to this, so you baptizing me. Oh, let me mute.
I know. Like that's not the last time I had a woman floored when she's around me. Hey, I tell people all the time. I said, look, the problem with young men nowadays, even though I do have to give the young generations, the young zillennials or whatever they call themselves these days, I love it when they go to prom and they have like the high cut pants with the loafers on. They look pretty cool with the fitted suits. I said, hey, y'all styling and profiling. I like that. And it shows that we still have some class in the community.
Mhm.
But see, a lot of young men don't have to understand. Look, a nice black plain T-shirt, a nice pair of jeans that fit well, and a nice pair of low cut tennis shoes, man. If you do your curls, which is always going to get the girls, and you just do your push.
You got me. You got me. I hear you. I've never met him, but he is definitely someone to uplift the men. I tell you this,
I'm
you are
telling the game. Am I telling the truth or am I telling the truth,
you
young
are
lady?
telling the truth because I mentor young kids, so I get it. I mean, you are definitely someone that can just put it out there and build up these young men. So keep on talking. I'm like this.
I said it. Like there's times I just come. I remember my son and one of my wrestlers went food shopping with me, and he was like, "Yo, coach, these women are drooling over you."
Hmm.
I said, "Kid, it's just Tuesday." I said, "Whatever
Okay,
a woman,
stick a fork in
whatever."
me. I'm done.
Okay. I said,
I've never heard that.
whatever woman tells
Wow.
you that she doesn't like a guy with a nice set of arms and a chest you could park a Oldsmobile on, she's lying.
Damn.
I
I
know
mean,
that's right. I'm sorry, y'all.
and
But see,
God
this is what we
forbid, and
this is
God
what we
forbid
find.
if you're a worldly man, God forbid if you traveled somewhere, if you're a military man like myself, oh, and you've been some places, oh, if you're a police officer, oh, and you could actually talk about anything from theological studies to science to social to geoeconomics. Ah, we're gonna eat that up like it's candy.
You're
And
not
see,
lying about that. I'm sorry.
and
But
see the
this is
problem.
what we're talking about. If
But see, go ahead, Herb.
let's let's look at it like this. Let's say we can take Sergeant Faulkner and we can clone him. We can make a few dozen of him and sprinkle him among the masses. In order for him to be accessible to you, you have to be in a place where he is. Now think about this, Jackie. If you never came on this platform, you would have never known of this man. But this is what a lot of women are afraid to do. They're afraid to take a step out there. What happens is when you're afraid to step out anywhere, you're never going to get anything.
Do
But
you
if you
say that
take a step
again for the
out,
Negroes in the back?
if you're afraid
Yo,
to step out,
yo, I am loving this dude. He is, hey, yo, all three of you, I
but this is
love
what we
y'all.
try.
I love y'all.
But this is the information we try and give women is you don't have to do a whole lot as a woman, but you have to do something. You can't sit there and flip with your hair and try and give subtle glances. That doesn't work. What you can do, and Kevin Samuels used to say this. This was a woman's calling card back about a century ago. She'd have a handkerchief. She'd have some
Drop that
fragrance on it, and
motherfucker.
she'd drop it in front of the man.
Drop that motherfucker.
If he understood what that meant, he would pick it up and he would know you were interested.
Because
Women have to develop a calling card.
No, they dropping eyelashes and shit now.
they dropping weaves and shit, dropping fake ass, dropping fake weaves and asses and shit.
Eyelashes,
Like,
I can't.
like what the
They
fuck is
dropping
weaving?
weaves and stuff now too.
Hey,
I
you know what's
can't.
funny? You know what's funny, right? And this is what I gotta tell women. The more feminine you are, and I'm not saying every chick has to be skinny, the more fitness you have, and the more you smile. I've trained women to get their bodies in shape wherever they want it. And they told me, Charles, you were right. I feel healthier. I can go up the steps more. I can breathe better. But the class of men that come my way now, my God, it's like I have a whole bunch of black Ric Flairs. Woo! And it's something because I had a woman at the place where I'm at, and a lot of women, and it's funny, a woman told me this. There's some women who need to get themselves off their high horse. If a guy asks you out, it's not because he's trying to get in your pants, it's because he's trying to make you happy. Because men are problem solvers. Women need to, especially black
So
women.
true. And our
Black
problems.
black black men do not like to see women sad. We'll always tell you to smile. Why should I smile? And see,
Yeah.
that's why you're single,
Facts. Yeah.
because you're not approachable. And what do they say? Shout out to BGS. Too many black women, their love language is disrespect.
Mm.
And I can't be with disrespectful women. I know me. I'm 40. And it's funny because I had a chick who was like, "Hey, you look sad. Come on out with me. We're getting food and drinks this weekend. Introduce you to some of the people at the cigar lounge." She told the Padawan, but she doesn't know the Padawan is my godson, who I got a job as as a police officer too, where I'm at as well. Oh, he's weird and he looks crazy. What makes him weird? Because he was being nice and offered me to come out with him, and she's 39. If you think it's weird for a man to say, "Hey, come out and have fun," then you need to check yourself into a mental institution because I like elegance. I like to be as smooth as a Frankie Beverly song. Okay, feel that you're feeling. Ah, you got that feel. I'ma still, I'ma,
Well,
I'ma
that's
steal your,
right.
I'ma steal your goddamn records. By the way, Herb, you think I forgot? I'ma rob your ass out.
Yo, you know what's funny, man? I came across a cat on TikTok. Dude, the collection this cat has, man, he might as well be a DJ, open his own studio, his own radio
Exactly.
station. I mean, he's got things that I haven't seen.
And you know what's funny? When I taught a lot of my wrestlers, and they said they get so many looks and so many phone numbers from women because we're Baltimorean. They'd be like, "Hey, shorty." I was like, "Don't call her shorty because she heard that a billion times in a day.
Yeah.
Go to her and say, 'How you doing, love?'" And he tested it out because everybody got to test out the theory and put it into practice. He said, "How you doing, girl? How you doing, shorty?" And she ignored him. He was like, "So how you doing today, love?" He said she turned back to him with the biggest smile, and she just gave her phone to him.
Mm.
It's funny because I'm gonna tell you why. Here's another part of the game. If you don't make see, the game is to be told and to be sold. So don't forget this. Don't forget to donate to the council for controversial counselor. Excuse me. It's the 1738 speaking. That's the drink of the night with the LFD cigars.
1738.
All right, all
You
right,
going
okay.
hardcore?
We're going classy and actual. Always entertaining. And it's funny because I told a lot of guys, I told a lot of my wrestlers, I said, if you want to learn how to be smooth, I'm going to give you these songs from Frankie Beverly and Teddy P. I said, you'll be smoother than baby ass or the iceberg, okay? So, one thing about it is just that modern women today forgot their elegance, and modern men forgot how to be smooth.
Mhm.
I can look at an album cover of the Jones Girls. All of them are fully covered. You don't even see cleavage. And those are some of the most beautiful women you'll ever lay eyes on. Same thing with Felicia Rashad when she played Claire Huxtable. When did you see her booty shorts? But God, you could put her, even in today at her elder age, she still looks great. In God forbid her prime, shit, you were not touching that. And
Um,
it's funny
that's
because
Anita Baker in Vogue. All of those women are not.
mhm,
And to follow what Charles is saying, I think a lot of women have fallen into the notion that just because a guy is looking at a specific type of female on Instagram, that's what he wants. Nah, that's what he might be lusting for. But trust me, he don't want to wife that. He don't want to wife that no more than he want to see. Want to sit around and watch other people eat. Trust me, he don't want that.
Yeah. It's something about even with somebody, a woman with business attire on and not showing all that. Men gonna think it whatever. We could you could penetrate through all of that anyway. But if you classy and you smiling and you got that charismatic type of personality, that's gonna keep a man's interest all day long. But all that bitterness and everything, as Charles said, is weird, creepy, and all that stuff. When it's just a kind, genuine act, ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody checking for that.
No,
Seriously.
no, man. You gotta understand something. It's like when the brothers came down to Baltimore to come smoke cigars. So we were waiting for you, Herb. We were waiting for you. And it was
Yeah,
so
I missed that one. I'll definitely have to get down there next time.
and it's so smooth because when you're comfortable, it's let me back up for a second. It deals with being comfortable in your skin. Like,
Mhm.
look, I'm a comic book geek. I love them. I've been reading comic books since the age of 3 or 4. I'm 40 now. I'm comfortable. That's who I am. That's a part of me. How the hell do you think I got such an elaborate vocabulary? My reading went up because I started reading comic books. I teach my son not to be ashamed. He loves his anime and comic books. But guess what? I also taught my son how to do was wrestle in a box, and I dare any kid to challenge him. It's funny because we got away from being multifaceted as men that I talk about on my channel. Is that when you're a multifaceted man, you have so many different windows, so many different. Excuse me, I gotta go Baltimore Avenue. There's so many different ways you can approach a situation. There are some women who looked at me and was like, "You don't know what you're talking about." I was like, "Sister, play this song," and that tells you about me. And they were like, "What song is this?" It's "Laid Back Type of Girl" by Main Feature Frankie Beverly. I'm a laid back type of guy, a laid back type of world. And they were like, "Why are you so comfortable and cavalier?" It's because I'm experienced. It's like the commercials say. I'm experienced enough to know what I'm doing and still young enough to do it.
Mhm.
And when you reach that pinnacle, that zenith, that apex, there's nothing you can't overcome, and there's nothing more attractive than a man with a plan, even if he got just a cane. So when a woman sees a guy who's comfortable in his own skin and that confident, be like, "Look, baby, I may not be what you want, but I might be what you need. So hey, Baskin Robbins got 32 flavors, so you need to pick one. It ain't even gotta be me."
Oh, schooling, man. He's schooling, ladies. He's schooling. Let me read
Billy
Shaughnessy
Joseph.
comment. She said,
Oh, go ahead.
I get the most attention in scrubs, business casual, and sweatsuits. It may be the way you carry yourself. It may be
That
your
too.
walk, the way you carry
That
yourself.
that too. And I gotta ask you this real question. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Miss Andrews. Do you have a big butt? Because scrubs and a big butt goes hand in hand. I was in a relationship almost 3 years with a nurse. I know. She
Well,
she she
she's
can
she's not she's
go
not
ahead.
located too far from you guys, is she, David?
Shaughnessy right around. Shaughnessy, when you I know you might be in school not in school right now. You got a lot going on. We missed you on the platform. Can't wait till you pull back
Yeah,
up again.
yeah,
I,
but
I gotta cuss out. I gotta cuss y'all out because y'all bring me when Herb sent me here to say y'all were live on Facebook. I was like, these motherfuckers gonna make me show out. Go ahead.
Man.
yeah, I think women underestimate the um the intuitive nature of men, and what I mean by that is this: if I see a woman in scrubs, I know two things about her immediately without asking any questions. One, she's educated, most likely beyond a bachelor's. Two, she's gainfully employed and she ain't got time for BS. So that means we can cut the small talk and get straight to the chase. When can I take you out? What do you like to do? I'll make plans. She's going to jump on that because she sees that the man that's speaking to her knows what she's about. She ain't about wasting time. She ain't about small talk. If you ain't going to do it, don't mention it.
So
Yep.
And,
so
Sir,
and
so
David,
let's respond. Shaughnessy said it's regular there. She said, just kidding. That thing be thinging. Whatever that means. No
You know,
comment.
she
No
she she
comment.
she knew when she said she gets the attraction of scrubs.
Yeah.
I mean, you must have like a caboose, like my daddy's F-250 lady. So I know, trust me. There's a reason why I couldn't get rid of that nurse for 3 years. Okay, I know. There's one thing about being an
Well,
old soldier. I'm in the profession where the good die young. Beware the old man in the profession of the good die young. And I know what it is. I mean, he must got a body like something that Michelangelo called. Good God.
Oh,
well, I
now
That's
had
see,
a
this is
comment.
danger.
I
Go
had
ahead,
a comment.
Jackie.
Well, Mr. Wolf stated that, about people in uniform or nurses outfits or whatever. Two things about them. That they're about their business and they're not with no small dog. Trust me. Don't let the the clothes fool anyone. I've come across people who were as ratchet as ever, who was wearing the same scrubs, who was wicked as ever, who I had to counsel my own self, who've told me how they um, made several copies of somebody they hated. They took pictures off of their posts, make copies, and sent them to people. Start messaging people hate threats that they just hate this person, was doing everything to destroy their life. Don't let the scrubs fool you. No, 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 no. The the
hold on.
garment
Let me cut you off there. Let me cut you off.
garment
I'm talking.
don't mean anything when it
Hold on,
comes
hold
down
on,
to
hold on.
people. The garment don't mean anything. That's something that comes on and off. That's a mask. You have to speak to someone in order to understand or know who they are. Period.
Correct. I agree there. And that's what I'm saying. When he approaches and speaks to her, she's going to know. Now, we're talking about guys that aren't stupid. So the moment she opens her mouth and he says something and he detects his ratchet, he's gone. He
You
ain't wasting
really
time
think
because
it's
he
gonna
already
come
know.
out that quickly? You think it's gonna come out that quickly? People always
It,
put on
hold
masks.
on, wait a minute. Hold on. I want you to understand who you're talking to. You're talking to a law enforcement officer. You're talking to somebody who deals with the public, and you talk about somebody who knows the public. We detect
Understood.
bullshit. We detect bullshit as soon as it comes out. We're not neophytes. We know better. So the moment she says something and it comes out wrong, oh, we gone. We're not wasting no time. And me, I'm definitely not wasting any time. I'm out. Vapor trail.
Let
And
me add
then
a
there,
let me add a little more spice because Shaughnessy throwing some visuals out there for you. Something about walking
Shaughnessy.
around them
Okay,
12-hour shifts, have the
hey,
thing sitting.
hey, Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy, my name on Facebook is Charles L. Faulkner Jr. I want to see the pictures. Oh yeah. By the way, Herb, let me see. Damn, I ain't wearing my sergeant jacket, so I put on my regular jacket when I'm off work. But man, it feels weird wearing stripes. I tell you, it feels good, but it feels weird because you know me, I'm a laid back type of guy. So people be like, "Yo, what's up, Sarge?" And I'll be like, "Who the fuck they talking to?" Oh, me. Oh shit, yeah, it's me. And I have to. It feels weird introducing yourself as Sergeant Faulkner. And yes, I'm still the commander for my security firm. And one of the benefits is this: is that you know I'm helping young men 18 to 21 get their firearms permits in the state of Maryland and training them in tactical proficiency. So now I'm going to be training people to deal with the stuff that unfortunately that happened to you guys in the upstate New York,
Yeah.
active shooters. And it's crazy because when you have men and women of substance, you don't have to ask questions because they're going to be about it and say about it because
Right.
one, there's a certain amount of order and discipline you have to be in certain professions. That's
Mm-hmm.
why a nurse is respected. That's why a firefighter is respected. A
Mm-hmm.
police officer, a soldier is respected. Because there's some hell you had to go through to even be considered for that position. Even for my security and public safety professionals, there's dealings with the public. When you could talk to the public, I always said something. People were like, how did you become such a quick thinker and good talker? Because I had to put myself in a very uncomfortable position because I grew up shy as hell talking to people. So the more comfortability I had talking to people, I had to realize, look, the worst thing a lady could tell me was no, except Shaughnessy, you're not gonna tell me no, baby. Woo! But anyway,
Wow, shine dog, pull up.
you pull up. I mean, hey, guess what? Guess what? Shoot, this new house I'm about to move into, it's got a parking pad in the back, so pull up anytime.
Wow.
Am I dirty walking? Am I shit talking and dirty walking? But
Hey, I ain't gonna stop the flow.
hey,
Bible
but you know,
class, let it
there's a
burn.
reason why you called me up here, Herb. God damn you! I've been rocking with Herb for a minute, man. And shout out to Herb. I gotta give you your flowers, man. You know,
Hey,
that's one of
man,
my supporters when I
I'm
was
just
a
a
small
messenger,
fly.
man.
I
Here
was a
goes
small
Shaughnessy.
fly.
Here goes Shaughnessy back at you. If you see a full body picture of me online, it's because I was showing the fuck off, and that's rarely. Them pictures get too much attention. Damn, she coming through. Stat
Well, guess
diggity.
what? Well, guess what? Trust me, I like a woman who can show off, but I like a woman who can tell the other guys no.
and that's the key point. That's the key point, to be able to shut shit down.
Yeah.
Shut shit down with someone, because you can't hide your body. You can't do anything, but you got to have the ability to, like, listen, dude, you ain't about this. You ain't ready. You ain't on this level, and shut it down. And it don't take much for to shut some dudes down, because they ain't built like that. They just talk. They
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
talk.
Exactly.
Honestly,
Because over here we like them fine misses and them skin tight britches, leaving folks in ditches, and you come out the car in stitches. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I know a lot of women they're concerned about the expectations that a man might place on them when it comes to them dating. And like I said, ask the questions up front. Ask that man the moment you meet him, the moment he's talking about, I want to take you out. Ask him right then and there. Well, what are your expectations of me when we go out? What are your expectations if I happen to come over your house? Don't be bashful. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be shamed.
No.
Because if the object of the game is to get information so you can make a cogent decision, then get that information. 5 minutes, I will tell a woman this. It shouldn't take you more than 5 to 10 minutes to assess whether or not you want to meet this guy for something other than maybe a cup of coffee, as David always suggests, lunchtime, or a drink, or an elongated dinner. No more than 5 to 10 minutes. But you have to have a set of questions that you can fire off rapid succession and get the information and then make your decision. Because I'm not about that small talk. I'm going to ask you up front. What
Ladies
are we
and
gonna do?
gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, Herb, aka Tyrone Brown. My love's like ice cream, and girl, I'm about to make you melt. Ooh. I mean, that is some very true stuff, because I've done little things for women. I remember girls I never even had sexual relations with. I would do stuff like leave dishes in the sink just to test to see what she's made of.
Mhm.
You know what that woman will do? Because it irritates her so bad to her core, she would just automatically wash them. Do you know what that does to a man when a woman? I remember one time I invited a woman to my room, and my room was junky purposely. She cleaned my room in less than 30 minutes, spick and span.
Mm.
I was like, "Shorty, you up there?" And it's funny because guys don't understand the game, and it's starting to be very pronounced that a lot of these young modern women don't either. Like, if you have a flat tire, or you need a jump, and that guy doesn't know how to do it, what the fuck are you doing with him?
Yeah.
There's certain manly arts. And people be like, "Oh, how you turn?" We don't do that fresher fit shit here. We're grown
I,
ass men over here, okay?
I have a question. I have a question. You mentioned the dishes in the sink. and cleaning your room. Question: are you sleeping with these women that are doing these things?
Some.
Because quite frankly, I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm hearing the game, and all I can say is if I go to someone's house and they put a dish in the sink and I'm just a visitor, come in to hang out and chat, I may wash a dish because maybe we eat something and yeah, but I'm not going to volunteer to walk over to somebody's sink and wash it, and I don't know you that well. So you got to be sleeping with these women to expect those things to happen, because you won't do that with someone who who you're getting to know,
Well,
right?
some and some. See, here's the case of scenario. If it's in you, it's in you. You know what I'm saying? And it's not purposely saying you gotta wash the dishes. See, men don't want to volunteer tell a woman. We want to see a woman that volunteers, because if a woman is something of some type of substance, she's not gonna let that go because it eats at her soul. It's like a man who sees a woman in distress. He's not going to let that sit with him because that's going to give him that uncomfortable feeling in his bottom of his stomach. Like, this woman's in distress. Let me change her tire. There's many of women I've changed tires and never asked anything. The only thing I got was a handshake and a thank you. Sometimes a kiss on the cheek.
That's it.
And see, it's just in you. And that's the type of thing where you know what type of woman / man you have. Because I remember my little cousin caught a flat tire, and we were over at my aunt's house, another aunt, but she's a cousin from another aunt, and she caught a flat tire. She was like, "I'm gonna call AAA," and I said, "I'll be damned. As long as we got tools, I'll be damned."
Right.
Changed her shit back up. Here you go. And she was like, "God damn, that's the first time a dude ever changed a tire for me." I said, "Now I set the standard."
Well, I can understand. I really understand when something like that is obvious. But what I was referring to, and I am going back to, is the simple statement in regards to the in your house, washing dishes, cleaning your room. You are having sex with these people. So, of course, you're looking for those things. But if you were just inviting someone over to just have conversation, nothing more. And if you choose to feed that person, and like myself, I would wash it, especially if you actually or someone is feeding me, I would definitely take that. But what I'm saying is leaving something in the sink for somebody who actually is just there to have conversation and they don't know about
It's a
anything in
test.
your sink or should be. No one is going. All I'm saying is, here's a woman listening to, and I just have to say, not everything that you put in that one ball fits in that ball. So my thing is, I think it'll be good if just kind of stick to just the things that's obvious to people, because certain things aren't. If I come into somebody's house, I'm not walking through their house looking in their sink to see if they have something dirty in it, or I'm not going to scrutinize their home. That's just me, right? Unless we're in a relationship or building one, that's when I'm gonna,
Jackie, let me jump in here for just a moment. Let me see if I can
I gotta
switch
answer
your
that for you.
thinking.
I gotta answer that real quick, Herb.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. Some of the greatest gifts I've gotten were from women I never had sexual relationships from. The woman who washed the dishes, I never asked her to. She did it on her own accord. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
you
That's
fed her,
something.
right? You fed her,
Yeah.
right? Fed
See,
her, right?
see,
No, she just did it on her own accord. I never
yeah.
asked her. I just said, hey, just come over if you want to visit, come by. We never had sex. And she was like, oh,
And
there's dishes in the
Yeah,
sink. If you just
yeah,
and
want, I
that's
was
hold
like,
up, David.
yeah.
Hold up, David. Hold up, David. Let me follow up what Sergeant Faulkner is
But I've
saying
done
with
that.
this.
I've done that with friends. But I'm just saying, I'm asking to make sure with you
But I'm
if
gonna
you were
put it to you
sleeping
this
with them
way.
or not.
I'm gonna put it to you this way. One of the kindest things that ever been done to me by a woman I never slept with is when I had COVID. Remember her? And when I had
Yes.
it really badly, where
Yes.
people thought I was gonna die from it.
Yeah.
This is a friend of mine, a little sister. Matter of fact, her birthday the same day as my mother's. She made sure, because her cousin was a chef. she made sure I had food, and it was packaged already. All I had to do was put it in the microwave for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 weeks. This is the kindness that I give off to people that they give back. See, sometimes I think people look too much into the sexual instead of the actual. You get what I'm saying? And there's times where you know when you're dealing with people of substance, and it's not always people that you're having sex with. Because let's not misconstrue, your boy never suffered from sexual partners. But the
Oh,
thing
I don't know
about
anything about you. I was just trying to clarify what stance you were talking in.
but I'm gonna clarify. I'm gonna make it real clear. I'm gonna make it crystal. I'm gonna make it so damn clear that it's opaque.
Oh my gosh.
That it's not even opaque anymore. So it's the fact of the matter is that it's like this. Has a guy ever changed a tire for you?
Yes, absolutely.
Has he
It
looked for sex afterwards?
no.
That's the same thing.
It is.
Some
And that's why I said tag me in, because I had a little
Big
bit to
Shaughnessy in
say
the
about
house.
it. Oh my gosh, don't say that. But look, in my experience, and I initially, when I figured this out initially, it was not on purpose. But I realized that even if a man wants you sexually and you're in his space and you do those things, like y'all hanging out around the house, and yeah, maybe he has dishes, or maybe he has a pile of laundry that he did not fold, and maybe he goes take a shower and you fold that laundry back. Now he order in his head,
Ooh.
Say it, say it, goddamn,
She
say
got
it,
the
goddamn.
wow.
in his
She got
head.
that tiara on her.
Oh my God, please stop. In his head, it's not about just a sexual thing. It's like, okay, we can water each other. This is not somebody that's just gonna ask me for money, ask me to pay the bill, and ask me to fill a gas tank up.
Say
No, this
it
is
again for the
somebody.
niggas in the back.
This is somebody that, we can mutually give. We can mutually receive. And I feel the same way about a jump. I feel the same thing about changing a tire. Do I know how to change a tire? Yes. That was an obligation for me before I even started driving. I had to know how to change a light bulb, change a tire, know how to jump my car. But am I going to call one of these niggas in my phone to change this tire before I do it? Yes, I am. Why? I'm going to stroke your ego whether I'm fucking you or not. Why? Because you're going to think I need
Exactly.
you. Point blank period.
Exactly. See,
You're going to
thank
think I
you.
need you, and that's going to make you feel good. And then when I come to your house the next time and your laundry is not folded, I'm going to fold that. And regardless of whether we fucking or not, or we just friends or whatever we doing, is going to be,
It's
the feeling is going to be mutual.
it's called
I have
endearing
gone out with
yourself.
I have gone out with a friend of mine. He refuses to make, and I mean, he's more than a friend, but he refuses to let me pay. He went to the bathroom and I paid for dinner. Dinner was expensive. Dinner was $2.80, but he always pay. I could pay. So when he went to the bathroom, I slid it to the waiter. I said, "Don't say nothing. Just keep the card. Whatever. Let him know it's paid for." After that, after we left each other, he's out me $1,000. For what? I don't know. But I'm not after him for his money now. So now he's gonna spend it. Because he
Exactly.
in
See,
his head, that's not what he wants. But us as women, we don't know how to play that game and stroke that ego.
see, can I back up what she's saying? See, this is the problem what a lot of women don't get. Okay? Number one, men want to be useful.
Exactly.
There are many of times I went to a woman's house. For example, I went to one of my ex-girlfriend's houses a few years back, and she was having an issue with the vacuum cleaner. You know what I
Yup.
did? I was
I'm
like,
a play
go.
dumb.
I'm like, go get your screwdriver. It was clogged up. She didn't know what to do. So I unscrewed a few pieces to it and pulled out the lint or whatever was clogging it. And the vacuum worked like it was brand new. Man, she kissed me like it was nothing tomorrow. It was, and I mean, she was like, here's the food. You hungry?" And she started cooking right then and there.
And
It's like
honestly, she probably knew what it took to clean that vacuum, but at the end of the day, she didn't feel like it. But because you took that
I,
initiative to do it
actually she
yourself,
did.
she was like, okay.
She was baffled because she didn't know what was going on. So
Oh,
I had to take it part by part, and then flush it with water and all this other because I had the same type of vacuum. Sometimes those hoses you got to flush with water and reattach it, put it back in, screw it in, bada bing, bada boom. See, it's called making yourself useful
Yeah.
because guess what?
no,
Every
it's
man.
not spending life as a maid. No, it's not about that. You can tell when
Mm,
somebody's house is dirty and when they can't, when they just didn't get to stuff. I've never went to a man's house and because you can tell certain people. I've never went to a man's house and it was dirty. Because I would just be
I,
like, yeah, I gotta go. The kids calling me. Oh, my babysitter. She said if I know come in your house and it's dirty, I'm definitely gonna exit. But
let me answer this question real quick. Sorry to cut you off, sweetie. Um, I'm gonna answer this question. Most women that I've dated, never been in only one woman I truly dated, and two women we had, a fling in the same profession. If I'm working 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 20 hours as a police officer in the city of Baltimore, I remember one time I was so exhausted I fell asleep on the steps trying to get upstairs. And my father woke me up. Like, what are you doing asleep? I didn't know I was asleep. Shit. So let me put this right. I can clean. I have a black mother and a black father. I can clean so well that Mr. Clean come in my house and be like, damn, okay?
yup.
So when I'm not physically able or I'm tired and a woman does it, do you know how much stress that takes off of me?
Agreed. And the guy
It's
I
no different.
actually, yeah, and the guy that I actually did this for and folded his laundry, he is so particular. And I promise you, I wouldn't even feel comfortable being in his space for more than a few weeks and I'm not a dirty person, but he is so particular. I would feel like, oh my God, she gonna say something about this. He gonna say something about. I'm talking about down to, and I pay attention to certain things, but down to the way he fold his he tuck his bed sheets at the bottom. It's like, sir, we are not in the military, but at the
Mhm.
same time, that's what you do. You have laundry, I'm gonna fold it. It has nothing to do with being a maid. It has nothing to do with working for somebody. It's I don't know. It's a nice gesture. I mean,
But you know what you need to ask this
I'll give
person
you a
here.
female equivalent.
This
Shauna
is
C.
what you need to. This is what you need to ask that woman. I can't see her name because all it says is Facebook user. Do you have a man?
that is very true. I
Do
just
you,
both sexes, whether it's male or female, everybody likes to feel useful. Cause I tell you, I know how to go to the car, to the daggone car dealer and get a oil change. But do I let somebody do it for me? Yes, I do all the time, all the time. So much so that he think it's his job. He be
it's like
keeping calculations. You get an oil change? Nope. All right, we'll drop your car off in the morning. Sure will. We'll swap cars. I'm driving somebody else's car now because I need an oil change.
here's the craziness about it. Here's the
Shine
craziness about
dog.
this is here's the craziness about it is right. And I had to ask a woman, what does a man get for the cost of his life? Because I have to say this to a lot of females. When you're with me, I have to be ready to either kill or give up my life for your safety. What
Yep,
do I get for that? And and
exactly.
and I've asked this question to many
But we
women, and
don't
they get
believe
baffled.
in. We feel like gender roles are we're beyond gender roles nowadays. We're so
You were
beyond
not
gender roles nowadays.
you were not his maid. See, here's the problem. A
We are
man who
beyond gender
values
roles.
a man who values a woman will never look at her as his maid. He
Exactly.
will look at us as his help, his confidant. We're not equals. Let's get that shit out the bag. We're 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 actually complementaries to each other. My if I got a business, which I do, my woman should be the one who talks to who's able to go to the mayor's ball or the governor's ball. Oh, you're having an issue with security? Well, my husband or my boyfriend, my fiance, he
Yup.
does this. because this is the beautiful thing about it. Let me tell you one thing. I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be very factual. Then I'm gonna give it to my boy Herb, like Magic back in the day. With the no look pass.
Oh
See,
man,
I'm
MJ.
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you some real shit. I was not upset when Jeff Bezos' wife got her 40 billion, but people don't understand why I was not upset. Give me a
He
woman that
worked
could
for
make me
that.
think of. Give me a woman that's standing 10 toes down for me when
Yep.
my business was fledgling, when you were doing the interview setups, when you were networking. But guess what? When you can't even get a goddamn fucking cool ass fucking cup of Kool-Aid from a chick nowadays, but yet
Yeah.
she wants it all.
Or a
What have you
sandwich,
worked
Herb,
for?
huh?
Or a
Yep.
sandwich. You see that man working all day cutting the goddamn grass. You won't even give him a fucking. You won't even spit on him to rehydrate him. But that's the problem about being lazy instead of being involved in a relationship. And a relationship does not mean I'm trying to get inside your pants. A relationship is because
Agreed.
maybe I give a fuck about you and I want to see
Right.
you live well. But go ahead,
Right.
Herb.
And I
I
want to
was
jump in because I'm going to be getting off. I got a
Yeah.
okay.
4:30
Go ahead, Jackie.
time
Yeah,
to
I was
wake up.
gonna.
I just wanted to say by me posing that question earlier, I just wanted to see where that statement lied when he said it. So I'm going to share something with you guys. I believe that my king should be taken care of in any and every way possible. Certain things he don't have to think about because I'm handling it.
Yep.
And when you can foresee what is needed, you handle it. Even
Mm.
when he walks in, I take off his shoes. Do you hear me? I remove them. And then on the way out, I will
Well,
put them back on.
well,
So
damn.
exactly. I am an empress on all levels with that.
Say
So
it
when I
again.
ask the
Say it again
question,
for the Negroes in the back. Remember, the
listen,
king, first of all, the king or the emperor is a servant to the people. But the first
Mhm.
servant to the king and the emperor is the queen or the empress.
exactly. But I want to add this too. He has the same background, past military, different things like that. But I'll tell you this, I honor that
Oh
because
my
when a
gosh.
person can honor a king in their life, no matter who they are on whatever level, because no matter if I'm mentoring young people, if I'm when I'm in the public doing any kind of community service, any of that, I'm making sure a king feels like a king around me. A king is acknowledged that he's a king around me. Even if no one else says it to him, he will be addressed like that with me. So I always make sure
See
I don't
again.
look down on
See it
anyone
again.
because
See it
I know
again.
I know
And
that the
see
king in
somebody.
that person, I know that the king in that person needs to be addressed. And sometimes these young boys don't get awoke. And a lot of times these men don't get awoke until you call them who they're supposed to be and who they are inside.
Exactly. Because if
So
you feed them and you feed that ego
exactly,
in a
Exactly.
certain way, they will automatically step
exactly.
up to the plate.
Exactly. It's
I'm
going to be autopilot because
I'm gonna
once they
tell
acknowledge who they are and they're open, their eyes are open to the treatment of a good woman who wants to build that man and make sure he knows he's somebody because society's tearing down our men out here. And
I'm
I
gonna
won't let that happen on my watch.
before
And it doesn't
before
have
you
to
go.
be your significant other for you to wash dishes or for you to do this, that, and the third, because you don't, to me, you never know what you may need or may not need. And I'm not saying you just do things off the basis of what you can get back from it. But if my male friend is like, look, these people are playing with me. They they took this off my car. Give me the number. I'm gonna call. And I'm gonna pretend I'm your wife, and I'm gonna make sure you get these charges that's supposed to be not supposed to be on your bank statement. We're gonna get it written off. But guess what? When my fire alarm is going off at 2 a.m. and I know you got a ladder and I know you're gonna get up on that ladder, I'm gonna call you and you can be my friend. But
Exactly. I get
it's a
that. I
I'm gonna
get
say
that.
this. I'm gonna say this for you, ladies and gentlemen, because I talk about this on my show. Anybody who follows me knows, and I go back into the esoteric knowledge of the '80s cartoons. Everybody knows He-Man. Everybody knows his moniker by the power of Grayskull. What does his twin sister Shira say? By the honor of Grayskull. See, men invoke power, women invoke honor. See, a man's job is to defend the physical and the mental. See, the woman's job is to defend the honor, the image, and the glory of her man, children, and community. And we forgot that because women who are of honor, they be damned if you want to talk shit about their men. They be
Absolutely.
damned. And see,
So true.
here's the benefits about an honorable woman. An honorable woman, when the CIA and the FBI try to go to, you know, Martin Luther King's wife, when they try to say, "Oh, he's cheating," why would I believe the people who are his enemies?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I
Yep.
believe people who's trying to defame my husband? I'm sticking with him. Look at Camille Cosby. I'm sticking with my husband 10 toes down. If Alicia
Especially in the
Rashad,
public. Now, I might cuss you out, fuss you out. You might be
Hello.
in the doghouse in the house, but outside, we together. We're united front all the time.
because number one, let them say, "Oh, your lady's a whore." Excuse me, sir. I got brass knuckles in my right pocket and a knife in my left. How are we gonna carry it?
See,
And see,
hold on.
go ahead. I mean, this your show. I'm sorry.
No,
Keep going.
no. You can talk. You know me. My words is quick. I'm still stuck on the point that the young lady was upset about the washing the dishes thing. Like you had your hand over her neck, forcing her to do that. That would be the same if you was at her house and it was something that you can do to help her out. Like,
Yeah.
this is broke or whatever. Well, I
Right.
can do this or whatever the case
Right.
is. It's not
Right.
that critical. Some
Right.
things is genuine and you just got a good heart and you just do it and you roll with that, and that open up more opportunities to spend time together. We too busy, got too many walls and resistance over good genuine shit, whatever, like
That's
Exactly.
that's
up,
exactly what I
whatever.
was going to say. If a man walks into a house and he sees a light dangling, and he asks the woman, he said,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, why is that dangling like that?" She said, "Well, I can't get it out. The bulb broke off." He says, "Oh, well, like Sergeant Faulkner said, give me a screwdriver. Where's the power? Let me go turn the power off so I don't get
Exactly.
electrocuted. Take this out, put this in there, put that up there, it's fixed." Boom. He
Because
does
other
that
than
because
that, what
that's
are
what
you
he
for?
does.
You're not
He's not looking
useful.
for anything
Do
other
you
than
do
to make
you,
that life more comfortable.
do you
Mm-hmm.
If
know?
she sees
Or do
women that she wants to be, she's gonna recognize that and say, "You know what? I may not do anything further, but I know this guy is useful." So when I talk about expanding your social circle, that's exactly what I mean. That guy may not be for you, but he could be for a friend of yours. And if you're genuinely that kind of a friend, you
Absolutely.
can say, "Hey, you know what? I found a guy that might be perfect for you.
do you
Let me
know?
introduce. Let me introduce y'all."
Yeah. Do you know on duty? I actually, this lady, she was on top of a hill, ran out of gas. I said, she's like, and she was pregnant. And this is one of the heartwarming tales of policing. I was like, you know what? I got you. I'm gonna need a tow. No, the gas station right down there. I just need you to do me a favor. All you gotta do is turn that wheel right into the gas station. So, I got a little strength to me, just a little tad bit. Pushed the damn thing over that little hump and got the momentum going, and she ran right into that gas station, filled up her gas. And she was about 6, 7 months pregnant. A few months later, I get a card from this family, and I was wondering why the lady asked me my first name. Why did she name her child that she was pregnant with and gave her child my first name, that child's middle name? And her husband thanked me over the phone.
Exactly. It doesn't always
Yes.
have to be sexually. Doesn't always have to be sexually driven. It's just so much. People don't understand the little things that count, and that will just even push the human society forward. It be kind to people, be nice to people. If it's within your power, it's not taking anything out of you and your day. Go ahead and do it.
I've always said this. People always ask me, why are you such a big Superman fan? And I had to really sit down and tell people. I said, if you look at Superman, any of the movies, any of the comics, the cartoons, Superman would be considered a god among human beings, correct? But
Mhm.
he loves humanity so much, and he sees the potential in humanity so much, he'd rather help them than rule them.
Mhm.
And I'm like, any guy that's that cool that would look at people who are s- significantly weaker than him and say, you know what, y'all my people, I got your back. That's the type of person you want your kids to follow. And that's what you want to be. When you're like, look, there's people who hate my guts, but God knows that when they needed me, those same people that hated my guts and said, fuck the police, I'm the motherfucker who holding their chin together when they were shot. And this has actually happened when they were shot from the bottom of their lip, holding their, keeping them from bleeding out. And the people don't understand. Like, wait a minute, I treated you like this, but you treated me with such kindness. I said, trust me, you're my peoples. You ain't heavy. No, none of my peoples are heavy. Any woman that takes the time out of her day to clean up what I could not do because I was tired or forgot about it or it was there, that's a special woman in my heart. Like, one thing, shout out to Danielle Davis. Good old Danny. She's in the Air Force Reserves and she's a police officer. Do you know how kind that was of her to make sure I had food to eat when I was damn near on death's door with COVID? That probably gave me the strength to keep on and to live through it and to break through it. See, the little things, like you just said, the little things sometimes push us over the edge to either harming ourselves or healing ourselves. Damn it, say it again, Charles. From harming ourselves to healing ourselves. But y'all don't hear me though.
But also, you got to also add the fact that if people don't have some kind of God in them, what direction do they really have? You have too much society stuff going on. You have so much change that's going on that a lot of people are just following these changes. A lot of people don't have God, and regardless of what, I thank God I move on the way God made me. I'm just a server at birth, and I feel like as the empress, I have to have the heart to serve. You know what I'm
And
saying?
be the
So I'm
example.
right, and I've always been that for everyone. And I worked the COVID job for the 2 years, so I was always making sure I look out for people. I do community work, always looking out for people. I have a heart to serve, so no matter what, if I see someone in a predicament, I am doing something about it. And I always ask God to place me where I can be of help to someone. So I don't limit myself. I always want to just spread God's love to everyone that's in me, and just keep it moving.
And
And your
see, that's
blessings
the
will come.
and see that's the
Amen.
part about it. That's the part about it. I don't even do things for blessings. I've been blessed so much in my life when it came to wrestling, boxing, mixed martial arts, policing, military, having my business. And I've been so humbled just by the things of just knowing people. People saying, you know what, I like what you're doing. I wanna invest in you, you know? And see, as people, as black people, we have, and I hate to say this, we have the audacity to say, what have you done for me lately? Maybe sometimes you can't do it lately. Sometimes you got to be the catalyst to someone's battery, okay?
Mhm.
And it's crazy because when people say, no, I would never go to a person's and do this. Do you know how many female friends I went over to their house to help fix shit? And we're not doing anything. They're friends. There's people's
Exactly.
wives because, my boy, he was like, yo, I need help putting this stuff together, this toy together for my daughter. Sure, I know how to do it. I have fun with it. Like, but guess what? His daughter loves the hell out of me. As a matter of fact, I think it's the weirdest, funny thing. But she was like, I'm sleepy. She's like, I was like, you want to go to sleep? Let me tell your mom and dad. She's like, no, I want to sleep. I want to sleep next to you. And she slept on the top of where the top of the couch is, because she was so small at the time. And she was like, don't move. So she's like on the back of my neck and head, and she fell asleep just like that. Because good people and children know who they can trust. And it's like my boys are my brothers. I look at them no different than my biological brother. I could be in the house with their wife, chilling, not trying to hit
Mhm.
on their wife. That's my sister. That's
Right.
how
Right,
you should look at your boy. And it's like,
right,
hey, if their wife was closer to me than they were with their fiance, boyfriend, or husband, and they said, oh, she got a flat tire, guess what? I'ma change it.
right.
It could be pouring down rain. You need help? Sit your ass back in that goddamn car.
Right.
Little water ain't kill nobody except the flood. But it's the same thing. But these are the same women when I'm looking like, damn, I ain't got nothing in the damn refrigerator. Out of nowhere, they bless you with food. But see, this is where we come from of being people without honor, without any glory, any image. I remember a black community where we wouldn't let a goddamn child starve. I remember
Mhm.
we had a community where if a child needed to stay with a neighbor or a relative, there was no fucking question. But now we gotta have this, oh, I'm not gonna do this for this person. But let me put it to you this way. The same people that said fuck you, fuck 12, fuck all this were the same people because I'm a pro. I had to kick in their door and rescue them from being abused, rescue them from being killed. What if
Yep.
what if I took that what if I took that selfish ass attitude the same person in the chat just talked about? I don't
Mhm.
I don't flow that way.
You know what it reminds me of? Like I always tell people, when I and this was back in the days when I was in college, I only typed one paper in undergrad, and I had some of the women that I was close with. They are if I had a 12-page, 15-page paper, they would take 2 pages, and they would type it all because I typed one paper and I got like a freaking 35. It was red all over that shit, like bloody murder. It they would type it, and I got through my whole bachelor's degree like that. But the reason why they did it is because they said because the school I went to was like 10, 15 minutes away, but I stayed on campus. My boys would come up on the weekends and they would supply all the drinks. Now, in college, you struggling, they would want to go out and they would want to drink. And we wasn't necessarily sleeping with all of them. I slept with a couple of them here and there, but but the thing was, they realized like shit. When it comes to entertainment, Dave got us on this. We don't have to pay to get into the spot. We can
Right.
drink whatever. So we're gonna make sure if all I got to do is type 2 pages, whatever, we're gonna do it. And it happened, and it was like that. It was just
Agree.
yeah. They needed something from me. I needed something from them, and it was no big deal, whatever. And
Good
people need to
people are
understand
good
that.
people.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I just my male friend is not in the state. He is traveling for work, and his friend was doing security at the bar that I was at. It was a brawl. I mean, it was a brawl. And I was at a table. I was fine. I was safe. When I say that man came in there specifically for me and my friends and escorted us out, picked us up and pulled us over the daggone puddles of liquor and all that other stuff and made sure we were straight. He made sure we were straight. And the only thing I ever did was got brought them in leftovers from Thanksgiving, and I was like 2 years ago. But just that alone, he made sure me and my friends were straight. He made sure we would walk to our car. He made sure we was out of there. He was like, "No, to the police, no, they good. Let them go. Cool. We were straight."
You,
You
you
never
never
know
know what
when
you
you
never
need
know what
something like
endears
that.
you. You never know what endears you to people, man.
Mhm.
Like I
Right.
remember, I tell people this story every day when I was in Iraq and I was part of the QRF. If you don't know what the QRF is, Google it. Google and Wikipedia that shit. I did some hard hustles. And because we were so kind to this village and they had some people in there who were not so good people, and we had to do some rough things to some very rough people to kick them the fuck out of that village. Those people saved our lives. They were like, "Whatever you do, sir, don't go to your normal route." What you mean? So we went a different route, and kaboom! You hear this IED, And the
Yeah.
IED was so powerful, the 18 wheeler, the only reason we knew it was blue because of the small chips of paint that was on the top of it that wasn't incinerated. And those people
You know,
saved our lives after we saved their lives.
yeah, and to follow up what Officer Faulkner is saying, there's a movie with Mark Wahlberg in it called The Lone Survivor. Watch that movie, and it'll chronicle exactly what Officer Faulkner is saying. And I've said this before on this platform, and I'll reiterate it. Life is all about relationships. How you relate to animals, how you relate to people, how you relate to the environment that you're in. We rarely talk about altruism on this platform, but what you hear everybody speaking about is just that. And where you find altruistic people, you find a better community. When Officer Faulkner was talking about that was what was done during the crack era, absolutely. I benefited from that. A lot of us Gen X men benefited from that. We had people that weren't necessarily our biological fathers that would pull us aside when we were doing something stupid or potentially dangerous and tell us, look, stop that. We didn't say you weren't my daddy. We knew that they were telling us because they had our better interests at heart. There was a post in the Counselor's Corner that was put in there, and there was a lot of consternation when the woman said that weak men step in to become stepfathers. And a lot of people didn't understand why she said it. It's the things that our grandfathers got, possibly our fathers got, is not being reciprocated for men who potentially would step in to be stepfathers or counselors or teachers. That's why she said that, because if you're not putting yourself first in terms of treatment, then you're being subservient to everything that is around you. That's not necessarily a bad thing, except you're not being rewarded with anything.
No,
At that point, you become a carpet.
and you got to remember her as a coach, and I'm just like, wow, time does not stand still for no man. I didn't believe that I had over 20 years of coaching because wrestling and my coach, may he rest in peace, power in paradise, Larry O'Neal Brown Sr., gave so much to me as a student and as an athlete of him. I felt indebted to give back to the next generation below me. Look,
Right.
I've coached so many champions. I've coached first year guys to championship rounds. I didn't even know it until the head coach told me. You know, we got a 96 percentile rate of pushing black boys across the stage to be, you know, contributing members of society. We're better than the school system itself. But you would think the school system be like, what the fuck are you doing? We need to follow that motto. It's like, one, I'm going to treat you like a man. There's many of times young men had to ask me about women and sex because they couldn't get it because they didn't have the father figures. Or if they did, they didn't want to talk to them about it. Like, look, wrap your shit up like a goddamn candy bar. Look, unless you're ready to have a family, wrap that shit up. Look, go get your career. Go get your education. Go travel the world. Go join the military. Go get your benefits. Why? You may not need them now in your teens and 20s, but your 30s and 40s, oh, you're going to love that. And it's funny because when people say, well, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that, that's the part of being a community. If you have a network, like Herb is in my network, the counselor's in my network, Dr. Dunbar's in my network, I have to be usable for my network.
Right.
Just like I can use them for mine. If I have a guy who's going through some issues, yo, counselor, speak to my boy. That's what your profession is. That's what you're trained in. Guess what? I respect people, what they've done for their life. I'm not going to try to out nurse a nurse. I'm not going to try to out counselor a counselor. But why? For some godforsaken reason, when I'm so tempted to say Officer Fault, But when Sergeant Faulkner comes out there, why do so many people challenge him on what he knows? If what I'm doing and what I'm saying is actually benefiting young black boys, and a lot of you have daughters, wouldn't you want me to be like, hey, I got a husband for your daughter? Not a boyfriend, but a husband. Why is he going to
Man,
be good to her? Because if he's not, my foot is in his ass, figuratively and literally.
we need that right now. The conversation I hear, because mostly girls come to me, because boys they don't really they're ducking the truth. So the girls come to me, and the shit that they say, it's unreal. It's unreal. But one of the things you had touched on, Officer Charles, I don't even like in education and all that stuff. I don't know if we could be like the conversations is fluff. You have to find that special student that you could be genuine. Other than that, you always got to dance around stuff because you got to be worried about you can't say this, you can't say that, or whatever.
You ain't dancing around nothing with me.
I didn't dance around because y'all came raw. Y'all
Like,
came
I'm trying to
yeah.
figure,
So
I'm trying to figure if Miss Andrews could just dance. Giggity.
Miss Andrews is the truth. Trust and believe. I'm just gonna
I'm
leave
look,
it at that.
I'm looking for those full body pictures. Uh,
But no, but also, Shaughnessy, that was high school, and this is middle school. But these middle school kids, most of them, they because exposure to everything, they see a lot, they say a lot. But I have to kind of be reserved in my approach because you just never know. Like these kids text their parents or set you up. Like you're in a conversation with them, and they got their parent on the phone listening to everything and all that stuff. So you gotta always. It's just a lot of it is not genuine. Every so often, you may have some students that you can say, I could say anything to them, and I know that it's going to get through. But a lot of times you got to be like, I got to sugarcoat stuff. And that's not the way to work. So they need to fix that too. They want people to do this or that, but they don't. But you got too many guidelines you got to
no, the safe
adhere
face
to.
shit. All the safe face shit. And it's
Yeah.
like the one advantage that counselors and teachers utilize from me being a coach is that like one of the shining moments since I've taken this position as a supervisor, it was funny. I seen my man and I seen him with his wife. And this is a white kid in an all black school. So you know how tough he had to be. And they were like, and it's funny because his grandfather, may he rest in peace, paradise and power. His name was Charles, and he was also born on April 1st. And he see me jack up Sam. And he see me in the corner jacking his ass up. And Sam was one of those delinquent. He was supposed to be in jail right now. Not married, with 5 kids, but in jail. And I said, motherfucker, you the... And I gave him 3 good body punches, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Because I expected so much. And his grandfather looked, he was like, Coach, I got to tell you one thing. What's that, sir? Do it again. Boom! And Sam is a very productive. He's a mechanic, taking care of his family, his wife. And when I seen them in front of Lexington Market, I was like, wow, I'm so proud of you, man. And it's like being a grandfather to his kids because he was like a son. Like him and his buddies were like a son to me. Man, I've been doing this so long I could actually say that shit. And time holds for no man. And it's like, I'm proud of him. And it's one thing when you can look at somebody who was your Padawan become a Jedi Knight. Like, do you know how Obi-Wan thought of fucking Anakin when he became a knight? Like, yo, I'm proud of this motherfucker. I'm not proud of the fact that he became Vader, but I'm proud that you made it through the ranks. And it's like, that's the reason why I said, you know, I'm going to revamp the tools that you need to become a man. One of those tools is that once you go from your place of comfort and you develop yourself under the master, you must take somebody under your wing and teach them the ways. And because we're under this safe space bullshit, we don't have those times when we could tell a kid that no, you failed. That was one of the most beautiful things about the second Wonder Woman movie. Yeah, she cheated, she used her cunning, but guess what? Guess what Artemis did? Snatched her ass up and say, no, you can't continue because you didn't do it with honor. You didn't do it with you didn't do it honestly. You didn't earn it. And that's what the modern day educational system has robbed our kids from, is the honor and the integrity that you need to get through life. It's like this. I'm pretty sure if I tell Miss Andrews, hey, show these students how to put an IV in, I'm pretty sure she knows the textbook way, but she knows the way to do it when she can't find a vein. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta troubleshoot shit. And see, the problem is nobody wants to do it the old ways. Nobody wants to go through and learn the mechanics of it, the technical and tactical skills of it. And when people ask me, hey coach, show me how to do the firearms thing. I said, dude, I can qualify with my left hand and I'm right-handed. I've actually taken people's rifles in the military that are zero for their eyesight and qualified 38 out of 40. Because I'm the expert, actually. It's above sharpshooter.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny because I put so much skill and time into that, where the fundamentals are just elementary to me. But I always adhere to those fundamentals. That's why it was so hard to beat me in wrestling. Because, yes, I could do the fancy shit, but my fundamentals were so astounding that you couldn't overcome them. And that's what I tell people. You gotta be so in tune to what you're doing, whatever profession you have, to actually be able to say, hey, how do you know you master this? If I could teach this to a 5-year-old, then it's a mastery.
Yeah, you got to have the basics down, and so many people looking for shortcuts, and I can think about our just growing up in Niagara Falls and playing basketball, where we had a rivalry school that they always had more talent than us.
Yeah,
but we had the coach that taught us the basics, and we focused on the basics and just building relationships, getting along, doing the right things, being disciplined. And no matter what, it was times that it was games that looked like they would win, but at the end we would always prevail. For a while it went on, I don't know how many years that we beat them consecutively,
I think it's like a 20-year run.
Yeah, so
it was long.
It's about that, whatever the basics, whatever. And we always talk about less is more, and sometimes people are always looking for shortcuts, and sometimes you just got to learn the basics of stuff, and you got that. If you got that solid, then you're on your way.
And then you always need that older generation. It's so funny that he used the example of an IV. I just was doing alpha trauma. This guy got shot a whole bunch of times, and Lord tells you I couldn't find a vein to save my life. But then I was like, oh wait, let me see his hand. And I'm sitting there, it's a whole bunch of nurses. Over my shoulder, she was doing something else. It was like she's been a charm nurse, 25 years? She saw me with the daggone IV, and I'm looking at his thumb, I'm looking at the IV, I'm like, wait, am I gonna make it? She looked at me, she was like, go for it. I did it, and it went in, and I said, oh, I done graduated to a new level of nursing. I done put an IV in somebody's thumb, and it worked. But it's like, although I knew I had that skill and I knew I could do it, I needed that 25-year trauma nurse to give me that confidence to say, go ahead, you got it.
You needed that Jedi master.
Yeah, she didn't say move out the way, let me do it, or she said go for it, you got it. I got it. When I put that thing in and that thing flushed, I looked at her, she looked at me, and she winked, and we kept about our business.
You know, it's funny that you said that. The pattern asked me, why do I got to do all the reports? I said, how many reports do you think I've written in almost 15 years? And he looked at me and he said, good point. I need to learn. I said,
People don't want to pay their dues.
let me
Yeah.
put it to you this way. There's a reason why I can come into that job and say, not only am I gonna be promoted to sergeant automatically, but I'm not gonna work weekends.
Yeah.
I paid my dues. I've been in riots. I've literally worked through the riots. I've literally worked through the summer times, five knuckle shuffle with a lot of dudes on the street. I said, I don't work weekends. I said, that's my request. And it's funny because I talked about IVs because in the Army I'm certified to give them. I don't do it on the policing because, hey, that's what we pay the paramedics and the medics to do.
That
Yeah.
too.
But if it needs to be, I can give it. I know how to do it. I'm like, hey, buddy, it's gonna hurt you a lot more than it's gonna hurt me, but it's gonna save your life if
Yeah, I don't
necessary.
even I don't even give that speech. I don't even say nothing. Look, at this point, once you met with me in the trauma bay in the ER, everything hurt. You ain't gonna notice this little poke.
I'm like this, girl, stop talking before I get the engagement ring on layaway. Stop talking because
I am
What?
I am
stop talking.
dying over here.
See, don't I make it interesting for y'all, man? Don't I make y'all?
Always do. But you act like I ain't never bumped heads before. Shaughnessy know who you are.
I know everybody knows. See, that's the one skill that women tell me. They be like, "We can't stand your ass, but we love you." Mm. Every woman tell me that. She was like, "I can't stand you, but I love your ass," because they be like, "You keep it so real, but you know how to keep it real and then be compassionate about it." I tell women all the time. I said, I can make women, and it's funny because police, and I have women to be like, suck a dick. I said, and you know me, I'm a smart ass. I'll be like, I don't want to hear how you make your extra money. And the next very day, I'd be like, hey, take care of yourself, love. They'd be like, thank you. And they'd be the same ones eating out of your palm. But I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to kill you with kindness. They gonna be like, you know what? And they the same ladies that be like, we got off on the bad foot, but I love his ass. He always treats me like a woman, even when I'm failing and backsliding with the drugs. He always treats me like a lady. And people remember that. See, Maya Angelou said it best. People don't remember what you do for them, what you say to them, what you buy them, but people always remember how you make them feel.
Facts.
Hmm.
Facts. And that goes along with consistency too. Being consistent. You can't be Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. If you're consistent and people know your approach, they're gonna roll with you. And I find that often
Yeah.
in schools. They're like, okay, Mr. Glover is us. This is what he gonna be. He's not gonna labor, he's not gonna change up on this. Some days I might be sillier than other days or engage them in cracking jokes and all that stuff, but for the most part, I'm gonna be
But when you say
consistent.
take y'all asses back to class, I'm not doing this with y'all today, you'd be like, oh dag, we gotta go.
Yeah, it gets to that point. It gets to that point. Like, I got to go. Yeah, I got to go. Some days I won't it because some days I'll be
Not,
like, man, I'm
not
bored.
today.
I'm bored. So I need the entertainment. I need the energy.
Yeah.
But other days I'll be like, this today is not the day. Y'all got to go. Yeah, I got to go.
There are so many times I'll tell you, being with the school system and coaching, you'll see 50 people down the hallway while we having a match, and I'll excuse myself from the head coach, and Kev he knows that we're responsible for what goes on because they're gonna blame us. And I tell people, if you're not here to see the matches, get the
Yeah.
hell out. And there's 50 people down there, and they looking at me like this crazy motherfucker coming down here, and there's 50 of us. You think the Red Sea parted? Like, yo, whatever this guy knows, he's gonna kick all 50 of our asses, whether he can or not. I think he can. And it's funny because a lot of people still respect me. They'll see me in the gym and they'll still respect me. They'll always be like, "Hey, coach, can you still do this 315 for like 20 reps?" I said, "I don't know about 20, but I'll give you 15." They're like, "All right, coach, let's see what you can do with 405." I mean, I don't know if I can do 10
Whew.
or 15, but I'll
Shit.
give you 8.
That's some weight. That's some weight.
That's a weight. I mean, hey, if you people doubt me, you can go on my YouTube and see what I can do. I mean, hey, but people always get the jovial, be like, "Man, if this man can do it," it's like the Padawan. We had our falling outs. Like his parents already said, "Oh, you're his godfather." Yep, yep, yep. Like they tell me, anytime you punch him in the chest, we're gonna follow up with you because we know you're only looking out for his. And so many of my wrestlers look at my son as their little brother. They be like, if your son ever said you were in his life, man, we're gonna whoop his ass. And there's times I look at my son at 15 and he tries to lie to me, and I'll be like, boy, don't think I wasn't 15. You do know what I did for a living, what I'm still doing for a living, to find out who's bullshit or who's telling the truth. And you know I'm pretty good at it, right? Yes, Dad. And I can tell when he's really knows that I'm serious. He'll be like, "Yes, sir." I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh
"Yeah."
my God. That boils my son. Oh my God. He's 12, and it boils my blood. Like, I appreciate the respect, but I just feel like, sir, don't try to finesse me. All of a sudden, you in trouble. You skating on thin ice. Now it's yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now all of a sudden, you know what time to wake up for school. Now all of a sudden, your bathroom
You,
spick and span clean.
you should respect that. You know why? Because they know that a child knows when they can't do that shit anymore because they know that you have passed of being a foot in their ass. And
I just need you to be this way in the first place. Don't try to now you in
oh,
trouble. You know you skating on thin
and
ice. Now
how
you the
old
best
are
son
you?
in the world.
And how old are you?
How old am I?
Yes,
I am 31.
31. Don't worry, I'm interviewing you anyway. But it's
I,
the fact. It's
I,
the
I,
fact.
I'm, I am not
It's
looking to hire. I have a roster that I'm trying to cut down now.
hey, you
Mm.
don't need a
Did you say
you,
a roster?
you
A
don't
roster.
need
Dog, back. She back.
you may have a roster, but goddamn it, I'm Vince fucking Kennedy McMahon. But shit, I got a whole federation, goddamn it. So I'm like this. You don't need a roster when you got a Hall of Fame world champion here, goddamn it.
Said he the
Shit.
That's
LBJ of this shit.
Guess
that's
what?
that's what they
I'm
all
the
say.
what my man say. I'm the number one. I'm the greatest and the latest. So what the fuck? I don't give a fuck your roster.
It's like you'll get rid
Shit.
of your whole roster behind
You get
him.
rid of
Like
shit.
shit.
You trade all
You'll
your
do like Brooklyn did with KD and Phoenix. Like y'all got to go.
you get rid of all your draft picks for
Yeah.
me. Shit. Fucking chicken dinner. You got a motherfucking winner. So shit. Shit. Like shit. I know what I'm. Shit, I'm a vet. Shit, let's get that $500,000 house together. Shit, like
I,
goddamn, who wants free benefits? Shit, even that's one of the big that's one of the biggest benefits of this job. I get the same benefits I get with Baltimore City. The only difference is my benefits are free. I don't pay into them.
mm,
I was like, give me the best benefits as you got. Blue Cross. Who wants a surgery who wants a surgery for free? Shit. Like I tell people all the time, I said you gotta know your costs when you the boss. Like
that
most women most women think that I'm demanding. I'm like, I'm not demanding. It's the fact that I know what I am and I know what I will be. And I know where I came from. And it's funny because I said, look, no woman wants a man who does not have confidence.
agreed.
You want a shit talker. You want a guy to be like, baby, hush. You want a guy to be like, when you're bad, look, we'll talk about it later. But we'll talk about it later. Go take your ass upstairs and watch some Lifetime. I'm gonna play Madden. When we cool down,
It's a
um,
lifetime.
when we cool down, we'll talk about this shit in clear heads. I don't want to hear it. And you know what? Every woman, and trust me, I dealt with some strong-willed women. I didn't deal with no Tinkerbells, okay? You know what they did? They took their asses upstairs to watch a movie. When we cooled down, we talked about it. And even to this day, my exes still love me. They like, yo, why did I marry you when I married this motherfucker? It was like, yeah, I was divorced him. We were married for like 2 years and I got divorced in 3. It's like, yeah, you got to remember, I'm rare. They'd be like, what do you, like, and it's funny because they'd be like, remember when you told me you're rare? They were like, God, I had to tell one ex, and I think this is some of the cockiest shit I told her. I said, when we break up, I'm going to tell you this one thing. Every man you talk to from this point forward is
You
going to
are
make me
going to
look even better.
compare. Yup.
They're going to make me look even better. And you know what she had to
Yup.
do? She had to come to the altar of Faulknerism and say, you know what? You're right.
Not the.
Walkerism. Damn.
I cannot.
You know, this is the holy Faulkner Empire shit, you know. She had to, as great as this 1738 is and as LFD cigar, she had to admit these
Everybody,
niggas.
everybody acting like they don't. Anita just said, "Hello, who is this guy? Watch Lifetime." Like they don't remember you being on here. You've been on here
I
before.
know. I was just about to say we definitely. And I know Anita's been here when he's been here. Been on here. He's been on here.
It's the fact of the matter is that a lot of black women
Oh
do
my
not
God.
are not
Generalizations.
least a lot of black women. It's not generalizations because notice I didn't say all. That'd be generalizations. But
Oh
a lot of
God.
black women are not used to black men speaking their minds bluntly and being very cavalier with it. It's like, look, I respect your opinion, and will the ladies on the panel say that I listen to you fully?
Yeah,
And there's
sure. Yep.
and
I
not
can
and
agree with
90
that.
and 99 to 95% of the stuff I agree with you. If not, at least today I agree wholeheartedly with you. And 99% you agree with me, what I said today. It's the fact of the matter. I believe that a lot of people are not this open. I'm an open type of guy. Ask me a question, and I'm gonna give you an answer. You may like it, you may not, but I'm gonna give you a damn good answer. And I tell people, challenge what I say. I'm willing to let you challenge what I say. Herb knows me. Kev knows me.
Mhm.
Trust me. Kev met me in real life, and he's like, God damn, you even more brash in real life than you on YouTube. Shit. So the problem is this. I don't mind my woman having a mind and a mouth of her own. I expect that. I don't want somebody to be like, yes, master. No. Say what you need to say, lady. Because guess what? You may open me up to a different plane of thinking.
Mhm.
Just because I may be the man and you say that I'm the leader, guess what? The leader always has a cabinet.
See, and I think part of the problem is sometimes we have to decipher and understand what other strengths are. Like it's some things you can't argue with a lady over certain things. I'm not going to argue with Shaughnessy over healthcare and the things that she do or policies and procedures. And it's certain life experiences a man may have that sometimes you just got to eat humble pie. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't like the taste of that anymore. They just think, "Oh, I'm gonna just argue just to argue," and they
That
don't
humble
have.
pie
Don't,
tastes like apple to me.
you gotta be able to taste it. Add your little whatever you wanted, whatever you want to add to it to make it taste better. But you got to do it because sometimes somebody knows a little bit more about a certain thing than you do, or life
Right.
experiences, and you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
There's many a times I'll go to Herb because Herb is a people person. Sometimes I'm a curmudgeon. And I'm be like, Herb, how the fuck do you speak to these people? And he'll just break it down like Legos. And it's like this, like we have to. And the one thing I do appreciate about the space is that we are the we are the sum of the total parts. Everybody, I don't care how small or how big your channel is, you add on to this space. Look, I'm no greater than Kev. I'm no greater than Herb. I'm no greater than Anwar. I'm no greater than GG, BGS, or anybody. But we all have a very important role to play. See, people look at the special forces guys when they went to the Bin Laden compound for SEAL Team 6. But do you know who the unsung heroes are? Those aviators who flew them there? Those logistics people who got them the care they needed? Those people who were cooks who fed them to make sure they had the nutrition to do what they needed to do? Those people who had to strategize and had to go, the people who do the groundwork in order for you to shine.
Yep.
And guess what? You know, good old Shawnee, her name is Nurse Feelgood for now. Shoot.
Weak.
When my people say hello, nurse, Red Meetings, hello,
Lord.
nurse. Oh man, you're gonna get teased for that with that boy. It's it's the part about it is like when I told people when I took this position as a leader. Friday night we had a party because there's a new big building in Lexington Market. 700 people came for this party. I was the commanding officer at the shit because all the people who outranked me went home.
Mhm.
I was running a security company and my guys, my officers. So whatever I said goes or didn't go. And you had to take into humble effect, like, wait a minute, I got to do things to make sure everybody here is safe. So imagine putting this type of weight on you. If shit felt like we had a young lady who had alcohol poisoning,
Ooh.
passed out on the floor. I told the Padawan, hold her head, my leg and my knee is on her back to give her some support. I said, okay, put her head at a 45-degree angle. He's like, wow. You'll find out in a few seconds.
Right. Exactly.
And
Have
then
a blessed
people like,
night, all.
All right,
Good
take care.
night.
Thank you
All
for
right,
joining
all
us,
right,
Jackie.
Jackie.
I know Jackie enjoyed this. And it was like, they were like, how do you know? I said, trust me, you'll find out. Bleh. And some lady was like, put her on the floor, give her some water. I said, you better not give her
No.
any water.
No.
So that's the worst thing you could do. I said, why do you have her hit at a 45-degree angle? Because if you don't, she'll choke on her vomit.
Mhm.
Then we have a bigger problem.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
I like
yep.
that.
I said, when people ask you what you do for a living, tell them. You're
I think his connection
Hello.
may have dropped.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're still there, Shaughnessy. That's no. I think his connection may have dropped.
Oh, okay.
I was saying,
There he is.
you're in the profession of saving lives.
Somebody
Yeah,
Wi-Fi don't work.
No, he's intermittent. That's all
yeah.
it
Oh,
is.
okay.
So we never we never got to the point of the man when the second segment when we can always bring that to next week's conversation,
What was the
where
second segment?
kind of like when the guy when we always talk about how women about fires their wall, they ran into the wall, they're like they're not relevant anymore, or their physical wall. And we were talking about what about men when they're not the man anymore? When they used to be the man, and all of a sudden now they done hit the wall. They ain't pulling nobody. They can't come up on no girl. They just so we were, that was pretty much the gist of it.
Oh no, I know a lot of old cat daddies out there.
Yeah.
They be like, dang,
I mean, it's some
dang,
still out
dang.
there, but they know like my better days are behind, and they're reaching, they're searching, and they're trying to pull out everything when it doesn't come natural like it used to before. Because some people it just never stops. It just keeps on
Yeah.
going, no matter how old they get. They still pulling them. And we were talking about what happens with that point when you hit the wall as a man, and shit ain't going your way.
Maybe you gotta step down to somebody else that's on your level.
Yeah.
See,
No,
this is
it's not that. It's like the old song by Kenny Rogers, "The Gambler." You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk
Yeah.
away. Got to know when to run.
So that was going to be. So I don't want to rush into that conversation where a lot of people probably want to dig into that because they feel like it's some guys who still think they still got it,
Yeah.
but
I
their
mean,
days is
And they
over.
don't.
men's wall is different than a female's wall. I'll say that. There's times when, as a man, you got to realize this. Men take pleasure into teaching, and I've noticed this compared to women. Men take pleasure into teaching the next generation to take over their spot more than women. And the reason why is because a woman doesn't like to admit that, okay, there's a new model that's out. Sometimes we like to teach and develop that new. And there's a reason why athletes retire from sports. Look, I'm going to take my Ray Lewis and I'm going to retire on top. Like, look, what better way to retire than as a Super Bowl champion? And it's funny because you got some guys who like, I can still get these chicks out here or do whatever they can do. I'm even at 40. Am I as flexible as I was 20? No, I could get very close to that if I actually train. But at the same time, what are you giving the next generation to uphold? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to build the next Lord of the Thundercats, man. I can carry the sword for so long, and even if I could do it for 1,000 years, do I really want to? Like, sometimes your legacy is not just what you can do great, it's what you can instill into the greatness of other people. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you're making sense, but also I want to think like with some of these guys when you're thinking about just selfish um kind of individual relationships with women when your day has kind of faltered, like you're not where you at, they're not checking for you anymore, and I think some guys struggle with that. And you'll see it on I know you see it on social media, like some of the posts they put out there and things of that nature, and you're like, oh,
Are
this
you
dude's
talking
reaching.
about somebody in particular?
Why? Shaughnessy, why you even coming like that? Why you even coming like that?
What
You must be thinking that. You must be thinking that.
I am thinking that, and I just feel like, again, just like I said, you have to step into your category and deal with what and who's on your level.
Mhm.
Or, and I don't mean that in a way to settle. I don't mean that in a way to, like, for me personally, right? I know that I don't want to. I don't deal with men my age. I don't. I'm not. If you're not 36 or over, don't even look at me. Don't do it. I can't. I cannot.
I'm 40, baby.
But some
Witty,
people don't
witty, witty.
realize
What's your sign?
you're not gonna like it, Gemini.
I'm
Shauna,
used
she,
to,
when your birthday?
man,
May
Gemini's get
29th.
along.
Okay, I'm a Gemini too, June 8th.
My birthday is April
Mm,
1st. You already know what it
Oh
is.
wait, what is that? No, that's what Aries? Is that
The
Aries?
God, the God of War, baby.
Oh Lord. That's funny. Aries and Gemini do get along. But
I know.
anyway,
I'm gonna put my number in
I
the
think
back chat. But anyway,
I, oh my gosh. Anyway, I think people just need to step in, be realistic about what their level of people are. Like for me, just like I was saying, for me, I'm not gonna talk or deal with a guy that doesn't have children or his children are so old or in such a stage of adult life that that's not really his concern because I know I can't just take off with you and enjoy a week's vacation without checking in on mine. We're not on the same level. We're not in the same category of life, and some people just miss that factor, and they're not realistic about who they are. They think they're up here and they're really down here, and that's not always a bad thing. You just have to be realistic about who you are.
And I agree that it come to a point and you realize I really can't do that. I really shouldn't be saying all this, knowing that
I
I,
am who I am.
yeah, I am who I am. I have to the pool that I used to look for. Now I have to expand it or look for certain other areas.
And it's sad because this the person that I'm thinking of is
And I
not
ain't
a
say who it
bad
is.
person.
You called you didn't say his name, but you are
Listen, the person that I'm thinking of is not a bad person, and I know that there is a person that is on his level in that space that will really match in that they will have a wonderful future together and be able to fulfill each other's lives. We're just not being realistic about where we are. We're just not being realistic with ourselves.
Shoot, for me, I've always been self-conscious. So the first thing being that I'm in my 50s now, as I start to look at the landscape of things, and I say, you know what? There's just some things that I can't do anymore. I'm not going to try, nor do I want to. I've had my time in the sunshine. It's time for me to go sit my little fat happy
But
ass in
you'll
the
be
shade.
surprised. You will be surprised.
I'll tell you
I'm
at
a
40,
realist though.
at
I don't
40,
I
at
don't
You could
operate
be a
in the
realist.
fantasy island way.
at 40,
I'm just like, hey, that ain't
at
me anymore. I don't
at
do
40,
that. Sorry,
at
I'm
at
here.
40, I can still do the same things at 20, only slightly slower.
Honestly,
Now,
Only
if you want to
slightly
compare,
slow.
if you want to compare strength compared to the 20-year-old, oh God, I'm like Hercules compared to that guy. But if you want to talk about endurance, God, I was God.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I was a lot. I'm not as brash and wise as I am now. I don't have to run after a guy. I know where you live. Hey, remember when you ran from me? I'm in your house 3 o'clock in the morning, motherfucker. What's up? Oh, remember you said you're gonna kick my ass? So knuckle up. See, it's funny, right? It's part of aging gracefully. My
yeah.
wrestlers and my son try to tease me about being bald. I said, dude, I made peace with myself shaving my head bald. I said, but let's talk about you two. Y'all don't wash your hair regularly. I mean, you got boulders sticking out of your hair. Come on, kid. I said, here's my thing. Y'all try to be where I am as the master. And they always joke, like, we're going to wait till you're 70 so we can kick your ass. I said, you can
Do it
try it.
now.
I said, you can do it now. They like, no, you got some strength and speed with you, dog. I said, as long as we track it. I said, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm even I can put NCAA heavyweights on their back in 30 seconds. My coach in the 60s, I couldn't pin that man. He was too skilled and too nasty. See, people don't understand the beauty of being a master.
There was a video going on online where one of the wrestling students was picking with one of the coaches, and he like ran up on him and pinned him down, and the coach flipped him over so quick. He had the whole wrestling team flip on him. They riled him up to play with that coach. That coach flipped him so quick and pinned him down so quick. His whole team was cheering for the coach.
I think I seen that. Hey,
Yeah, it's because you see, when you're young, and the guys will agree with me, you're trying to look good and get the big knockout or the big takedown or the nice little submission. You get older, you ain't for that shit. You're like, I'm gonna do as much fucking pain and destruction as I can do as quickly as possible to make you wish for death. And it's like, look, I had, like you said, I had my time in the sun. Hey, I might even still be the defending champion, but it's up to you to become wise enough to know how to take it. And see, I'm gonna tell you one of the most important things you need to watch. Go back, it's on YouTube. Go watch the Anointment Trials of Lionel. It's not the fact that you need to you need to beat me in the absolute totality of my specialty and abilities. It's the fact that you need to figure out a way to circumvent my abilities. See, that's where wisdom plays in the fact is that sometimes you got to realize the greatest reversal of all times is to never get in the hold or situation in the first place. That's what wrestling taught me. Why give a person energy that needs not to be given? Your energy is valuable. Why argue with a person and all they look for is some drama? What
and
happens if you give them your indifference?
and see, for me, it reminds me of the situation where Kwame Brown and Michael Jordan, when Kwame came into the league, what he's the first pick, like 19, and he talking shit to Mike, talking about he washed up. This is Michael Jordan. This is Michael Jordan. So they end up playing 1-on-1, and I think Jordan beat him like 10-1 and humiliated him, and kind of took his heart away from that point. Like, dude, what are you thinking? no
Yeah,
matter no matter how old he got, he still had game, and he was in his 30s at that time, and his career never shit. It just faltered after that. Mike took his heart. So sometimes you
it's
got to realize that when you're dealing with y'all call people, when you're dealing with old heads and stuff like that, the skill level, the dedication, like listen and learn and take with that instead of saying, "Oh, I'm gonna try to get them on the decline." And that's the same thing when you think about these young boxers and they fight Floyd Mayweather and he beat the shit out of them, not knock them out or anything, but just school them. It's a lot of work put in. You
it's
got to
it's
think about
this
that.
it's the level. How can I say it? It's the level of gravitas, man. It's the fact that when you go through war, you get comfortable being in the trenches. You get what I'm saying? It's like you take a nurse. If you really want to test a nurse metal, you don't give her the old folks. You give her the fucking emergency room. He or him, he or she. Because guess what? They need that 60, they need that golden hour. It's if you want to, everybody loves being a cop in the wintertime. Nah, be a cop in the summer. That's if you know you want to be in this grunt. And whatever he thinks he knows, Mike's been there over and over and over and over and over. And see, people think that, oh, you get older, you're out of shape. No. My son called me weak and he's 15, right? He's like, Dad, you weak. I said, oh, I'm weak. Take these 60-pound dumbbells and curl them. And he tried it. He like one day. I said, "Oh, hand him here." And I just picked him up out of his hand, snatched him, and start curling him for several reps. I said, "I'm weak, right?" He's like, "Dad, you still the man." I can't do it. I said, "Yeah, you might be faster, but guess what beats speed? Timing." I said, "What if I'm?" I said, "Go ahead, throw your punch combinations. Beep, beep, beep." So I hit him with the shoulder roll, and I came 1 inch from punching him in his face.
Mm.
I said, "Look at the." I said, "Your speed you relied on so much. You did not focus on the blind spots you created for yourself. You were interested in trying to embarrass me, and I could have just ended you." The same thing Mr. Brown taught me when I'm trying to like do something fancy and look slick. But this guy, you ever seen a guy who was strong enough at 180 pounds that he could crush apples or break pliers with his bare grip?
Mm.
He touched any part of your body, it felt like a taser hit you. And you're like, you get to your point where you sit down and your mind just says, that dude could have had you anytime he wanted. He didn't do it. He let you do what you did to build your confidence. He could have broke you at any time. Could have embarrassed you. It's just like, Miss Andrews said about the ER nurse. She looked at her and winked at her to give her the confidence to do what she did. She's like, I can't tell you what to do. You got to make a decision. And that's the part that we don't develop in our children now. There's sometimes I'll stand back with my officers and I'll be in a cut. I'm waiting. I'm close enough where I can take action, but I'm far enough where I'm not involved. I want to see what they're going to do when I'm not there.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Like even at my job, I try to tell the younger counselors, like, take on an intern, and they like, nah, I don't. And maybe they hear me talking, I like, yo, I'm past the time. I don't need nobody staring in my face the whole time. Um, but yeah, I should take on one that lightens your load. And they're like, no, I don't want nobody in the office. Like, but the ability to teach somebody and school them, it's rewarding. But for me, I just I don't have to do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore because I have two people under me that y'all come to me for guidance. Uh, but that's what it's all about: providing service and schooling each one to teach one to help someone else out to get on that path. I'm gonna get them. They're gonna get one though, but they've been reluctant, and I just kind of let them ride.
My man
But
Kev is like the
they're
counselor
gonna get
version of
one.
Yoda.
Who is you? I assume you calling me Kev.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's
David.
Sylvester. I'm sorry, Dave. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking about, but he's like the counselor version of Yoda. He's like, take this person in, if you will.
I mean, if you're thinking about it, it's free work. You don't turn down free work, and they still learning and training. You just have to deal with them the days that they come, that they're going to be in your face the whole time, and you may not be able to do everything you want to in your office because you got someone always there, because we don't have
You
no
gotta do
space for
stuff the
them.
right way.
Yeah,
See, I always get out of it in a way it's like, look, don't look at me. Do this. This is not the way you're supposed to do it. This is the way that works. This is the way I'm gonna teach you to do it, but just don't. This is how I'm gonna do it. This is how I taught you to do it. And you just do what you're supposed to do. Wink, wink.
yeah,
And that's how you get around that.
yeah. You
So
can't
you
give them
like to teach
shortcuts.
people.
You can't give them shortcuts and tell them like, listen, I might not. You might not hear this from how they teach you in class, but I've been doing
Hmm.
this long enough that this is how you're gonna this is how you're gonna do it. But you're not, you're not at that point yet. So you got to go through the whole process.
Let me get out of here. and get ready, chill out, play a little bit of Madden, maybe lift some weights. Oh man, I'm getting excited of Miss Andrews teaching me.
I cannot.
Oh boy. Oh,
I did nothing at all.
I'll be following up with you, Shaughnessy. I'm gonna be following up.
Don't worry, the number's in the back. Just text me.
I am a weak. I don't text.
Well,
Oh.
you're gonna learn today.
I'm not. I'm not.
Just
I
text me to
promise
let
you,
me.
I'm not.
Just text me to let me know you got it.
That's what they all say until they call on my phone, till they FaceTiming me.
I mean, hey, I'm gonna go off of your flow for right now. Just text me to let me know you got it. And I
Ain't gonna
want to
be
see
no
the.
text.
Oh.
Just let me know. Just say, I just want to see. I just want to read that. What's
I cannot. I'm not gonna entertain this any longer. You have a good night.
Hold
I just
on,
want to see
Shawnee.
that. I just
Close.
want to
Can
see
we
that
get some
text that
closing?
says.
Can we get some
I just
closing
want to see that text that
comments?
says.
Oh my gosh.
Just text me to let me know you got it so I can save it. Ooh, and he done it.
He's
I
out.
didn't get anything.
It's in the back.
I don't even know where the back is, so it's lost.
You want me to
Where it
send it to
says
you?
private chat, you should see it.
Yeah.
Nah, it's cool. Don't try to direct me nowhere.
I'm gonna inbox it to you.
No, you're not.
All right. Any closing comments from when you joined Shaughnessy that you want to give to the people?
I don't know. I miss being on here with y'all.
I know you've
I
been
know I
busy. We
haven't.
missed you too.
Yes, school and work and
Yeah,
school and work. It's been killing me, and oh my gosh, I'm not ready for this almost teen that I have. He think he has a mustache. It's nothing there, I promise you.
What grade is he in?
6.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It's
he about to definitely shine going into the 7th grade. It gets
Yeah,
real.
but
What a
the
difference! What a
transition.
difference!
he already I'm telling y'all, he's extra super honest and brutally honest with me. And it just, oh, I don't know. I still haven't gotten used to it yet. He just always catches me by surprise, and I'm always having to like fix my face because I don't want him to change his level of honesty. But sometimes I'm just like, bruh, like I'm your mother. Like we not friends. Like can you talk to your father or something? Your uncle?
No,
Somebody? Cousin?
that's gonna happen a lot more often. Believe that.
I know, and
It
it's
should.
like, listen, I appreciate it, and I'm happy that he is comfortable enough to share these things with me. But Jesus Christ, my poor little heart can't take it.
He's growing. He's growing.
I know. I'm getting old, y'all. But
You still a little thing. Look, still a little. What you say? What you say?
still what?
No, about the little thing. In the
Oh,
scrubs.
that thing be thinking.
Yeah.
That thing be thinking.
Yeah.
Wait till you get to be about 45.
Then what?
Then you'll understand what getting older than me.
No, I think that as long as I'm walking them floors for them 12-hour shifts, I think it'll keep sitting. I think
Oh no,
I think
that's
that's
no,
what's on my
I'm talking about
side.
you'll start to understand how much life you've lived
Oh, exactly. What real old is, what real old means.
and how much life you have left to live.
Yeah, true. True.
But even in this day and age, we can't even use that as a barometer because people croaking like damn, how the hell that happened?
I
And
know
it's just
life
too
is
much
so
going on.
precious. It's such a vapor.
It's too
You're
much
here
going
and then
on.
you're gone. But with that being said, I think we just need to get back to being good human beings and doing good unto others, helping each other out. You don't have to be somebody's significant other. You don't have to be their wife. I do understand the wife privileges as a girlfriend, and I do agree that I've done that before, and it didn't turn out well. It didn't turn out the best, but it is what it is. You be good to people, and either they'll be good to you, or you'll get your blessings from somewhere else.
This is true. This is true. And go ahead, Herb. Go ahead.
Trial and error, life's greatest mysteries. If you don't try something, you will never fail. Conversely, you're going to fail, but the way you fail will only be second to how you succeed. Women, I know today's dating climate isn't great. I know it's not optimal for you to be able to decipher the level of men that you're encountering. So what you have to do is you have to redraw how you think and how you date. Like I said, that's why I'm coming out with the book. But before the book hits, you have to start putting yourself in positions to meet worthy men. Case in point tonight. She may not be interested, but what does Shaughnessy have the opportunity to do? Meet a quality man. And she did that by sacrificing some of her time to appear on the panel. It doesn't matter that nothing happened. It's the fact that she had the opportunity. And a lot of you women, you limit yourselves in your opportunities because you're unwilling to take a step out there. Stop being a turtle. Poke your head out the shell sometimes. Look around. You might find something good. And as of course, always, growth and understanding occurs in the gray area. Godspeed. See you next time.
And to follow back what Herb said, not to put everything on you, Shaughnessy, but it's a connection that now that like, okay, he's into defense and all that stuff. Or I know somebody that I met on this platform that might be willing to do this or do that. So you just never know. Again, you have to be comfortable to get comfortable. And you have to take chances. So my closing comments is always going to be around greater than, less than, equal, whatever. And then it reminds me of the situation about what Officer Sergeant Charles said. Somebody just came over, washed dishes, like, okay, he needs a little help. Let me help out. It doesn't matter. It's not like he warned her to do that, but that was something in her heart, probably something in her upbringing that made that person do that. And as Shaughnessy said, we have to get back to that. Like, this person's good. They always treated me well. I'm going to treat them well. That's the bottom line. Greater than, less than, equal. Somebody treats you great, you treat them great. If they treat you less than, then you're going to give them less than. Some people may say, no, I'm going to always be the better. But then that's when you end up jacked up in the head because you feel like you're getting used. But if they treat you equal, you treat them equal. That's the bottom line. Simple mathematics. Life is about mathematics and science, whether we know it or not. And a lot of times we live our life on an imbalance, and we need to start balancing things out. And once you have equality and balance, we have better relationships and less people balled up in a fetal position because they feel like they get misused or abused. So with that said, we still not finished with this subject. These wannabe ass man, that's not relevant anymore. We touched on it, but we got to take it a little further. Because And Shaughnessy words from the YouTube were, y'all old niggas ain't fucking.
I cannot.
Trust and believe. We ain't hit that point yet. But that's where it's
Listen,
at.
there's pills for that. There's pills for that.
Yeah.
Hey, there's
ain't
also
on
help
that,
for
I ain't on
that.
that pill level either. So with that said, we out, everybody. We appreciate you coming, joining us, Shaughnessy. We miss you.
Yes, we
Hopefully you
do.
can pop back
Yes,
in.
anytime I can, I will be here.
And you know how you do. You bring another element to it. So we appreciate you and keep coming back. And hope you. I know you. I ain't even question how you doing in school. I know you. You doing
I
well and you
am
making shit
doing
happen.
very well. Yes.
Yeah.
I actually just got a $8,000 scholarship,
Oh
which
wow!
was
Congratulations.
dope. So yeah, it's definitely going. It's going. I've been doing a little actually technically quit my job and I've been doing PRN, a little bit of everything. So I've been on the ambulance. I've been
Oh,
going into yeah, because I still have my paramedic license and I keep that and I renew that as well. Just because like it's no point in letting it go.
right.
Um because of the work that I do as a nurse counts as my continuing education, so I can just always renew it. It's literally
Oh,
just paperwork.
respect.
Yeah, because you have to do continuing education, but because I'm a nurse, that counts as the continuing education. So
Techniques change
we're
and things of
good.
that nature.
Yep, yeah, yep.
So you're not supervising them. I know you had took a position that they gave you as supervisor.
No, no, because I can't. I need to be able to clock out, and that's it. Like I need to be able to clock out. Like I can't do people
Be on
calling
call.
me,
Yeah.
and yeah, I can't. I cannot. It's taken from the kids. It's taken from school. It's getting to be too much.
You're making it work. That's all.
Life
Making it
is all
Yep,
work.
about
yep.
decisions.
Yes, yes,
And I
yes.
and I
And
seen you.
this roster been helping me out. So
Oh, the roster. Okay. Well, somebody tried to simplify that roster. They tried to simplify that roster. They said, you don't need all that. Just pay one person.
just say one person. I hear you. Sound good.
And Herb, I seen you patting your head with for
I'm just,
let it go. Time to let it go, bro.
Go ahead and say it.
Yeah, time to
Us
let it
young,
go.
us young girls like bald heads. I got
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah.
I'm like Sugar Ray.
Gotta let it go before it started looking like Sherman Hemsley.
Exactly. You just said it. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm due for a cut as long as I keep it
Cut
nice.
what?
But see,
No.
it's not the hairline, it's the waves that I like. So you can't see them on camera, but
Oh
this
my
just make it
God.
seem.
Nah,
So you
man.
just gonna go ahead and get you a 1 against the green
No,
to
it
hide
is
the
what it is.
hairline?
I'm not going to do anything different. When it goes, it goes. I'm 51. I have nothing left to prove.
Shave it. It's not like you have an awkward shaped head.
No, I'm not gonna say. I'm just leaving. Let it do what it do.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be just like me doing Beijing, trying to keep my beard blonde. It's over with, man. It is what it is.
Now there I'm okay. I got a few gray hairs, that's coming through. But as long as I keep it cut short, you can't really see them. So I'm
Listen, the
okay.
35, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm be completely honest with you. The 35 and under crew love the salt and pepper beard. They love them. I promise you. I let them grays come in.
Besides, 90% of the women that I encounter, I'm not interested in, so it don't matter to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Listen, you let them grays grow and you might start a few of them might start popping in that you might be interested in. I promise you. It'll be the salt and pepper
I can
beards.
guarantee you.
I'm telling you, it'd be the salt and pepper.
As sure as
It's
I'm
the
sitting in
salt
a
and pepper.
black leather chair, that 98% that about 90% of the women that I encounter, I'm not interested in.
But
I can
you
say
might
that
not
with
even really encounter them. They may see you from across a room and they may turn their head and might see a salt and pepper bed and be like, oh, I gotta walk down the soup aisle because I just saw salt and pepper over there that I might like.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm going to go out on a very solid branch and say that you're correct. But the only thing they can offer me is conversation.
Well, conversation leads to a lot.
No. I'm saying
Conversation
that's
leads
all
to
they
a
can offer me.
lot.
That's all they can offer me.
I done had some nice long conversations.
Okay, but I mean, but sometimes I'm not interested in conversations.
Oh my gosh.
You just being resisted, Herb.
No,
Exactly.
what I'm saying is this. Ultimately, conversations go one or two ways. It's going to lead to something else, or it's not going to lead to anything. I don't mind having discussions with people. I'm all about conversations. That's what I do at work. But I also know when to cut them conversations off because they're not leading to anything. So I'm
But
not
what
just gonna
about
have it.
outside of work?
What for?
So what have you?
Networking, communication. What else? What's the word that I'm looking for? I
But I
don't
don't.
know.
I don't.
Friendship, companionship.
I see,
Collaboration.
and that was exactly my point. I don't want that
You
type of
don't want
companionship.
companion,
I don't want that type of companionship from
not even on a
just
friendship level.
companionship and friendship for men is different. Got to understand that. When you talk about companionship for men, you're talking about sharing personal space.
Talking point. Ding ding.
Honestly, I'm at that point in my life where I'm content by myself. That's why you only see cats in this house.
Listen, I get wanting to be by yourself. I
No.
get I am a
Hold
Gemini.
on. Let me interrupt you. It's not wanting to be by myself. It's the optimal being for me to be by myself because I don't have to deal with anybody's emotional instability. I don't have to deal with anybody's irritability. My house is a mess right now. Ain't nobody saying a damn thing. I don't
But
have
you might meet somebody that likes your mess.
You said might. I don't do might. See,
Well, nothing is absolute in this thing we call life.
No, two things are death and
Death.
taxes.
Yeah.
See, but you have to understand that I know who I am. I know what I want.
There's somebody for
just-
everybody. And
Say
I
it
think I said there's somebody for everybody, and there's somebody that can love you and your cats and your mess equally.
But how do you know I don't have somebody in the fold already?
Because you say you want your optimal. What was the phrase you used? You're comfortable being by yourself. You want to be alone, but does that not? And this is just the reality of things, right? We can be by ourselves and blah blah blah, but sometimes we do get lonely.
But that's why I'm asking you. How
That's
do
a
you know
human
I don't have
emotion.
someone in the fold?
I don't know that.
Ah. And you know why?
Okay.
And you know why? Because I
Okay.
believe
Oh, so you're not gonna share.
I believe in those three little letters, NDNA.
Oh gosh.
Nobody ever knows if Herb has something. Nobody ever don't know if Herb doesn't have something. I prefer it like
No face, no case.
No. It's not about a face. It's just let them stay where they are. If I want to go pick them up, or in my case, if they want to come pick me up, I believe in the old slogan: reach out and touch someone.
Lord.
Yeah,
I like to keep my life. I'm the number one killer of men, particularly black men, is stress.
You believe a woman is gonna bring you stress.
I haven't known too many women not to bring men stress.
So do you know that single black men, and I want to say this correctly, single black men die younger than married black men?
Got to update your stats, sister.
I'm sorry. No, this is this is something that is known in the healthcare community, and I know it has most to do with, most of the time when you have a wife, she's gonna be on you, making sure you go to doctor's appointment. Oh, you're not eating the same, you're not acting the same, you're not looking the same, and that's really what it is. I'm not saying that their stress levels, it's
No, no,
all
no, no. When,
stress or not stress.
hold on. When I say you have to update your information, what I mean by that is this: everybody quotes that, but they always look at that from a marriage standpoint. They never look at guys who have been habitual bachelors. The flip side of that is you don't have to care for a family and a wife. So what you gained in terms of your wife nagging you about your health is offset by the fact that you don't have to worry about providing for a family and a wife. There's the trade-off that a lot of people haven't looked at. When you start looking into the statistic from that perspective,
But you're talking about overall happiness. You're talking about overall happiness, because I can agree that the bachelor, the habitual bachelor may be happier in life than the guy that the middle age or the older age black man that is married with children. I agree the bachelor may be happier in life, but the married or the one that has companionship or that has that significant other in his life is living longer.
It's overrated. You want me to tell you why?
Why?
Because as a man, I could care less about being happy. Happiness is happy. Once again, that's a female metric. Happiness is fleeting. I'm concerned about contentment. Rarely am I discontent with my life.
Yeah,
3 months ago,
I'm writing talking points down right here.
3 months ago, I decided to pick up and go to a Cleveland Indians, New York Yankees postseason baseball game. A couple months before that, I picked up and went to Toronto for a couple of days. I didn't have to answer to anybody. Just did it.
But the relationship that would be right for you, or the situation that would be right for you, you still wouldn't have to quote unquote answer to anybody.
But why try and find that when I can just do it, and I can find somebody else that may not want to? But that's why I said, how do you know I don't have somebody in the fold?
Right, because they got that NDA. I need to know what kind of women these are, because I'm not signing no NDA. Not that I don't want nobody to know I'm dealing with you anyway, but I'm not signing no paper.
No. Some people know.
Shana, she got a lot of slick with her.
Some people know, but they know how I
keep them
roll.
all on the need to know. I got you.
That's all I'm saying.
I got you.
What I do in public, but how I get down is behind closed doors.
Whatever that is supposed to mean.
No, that's bad boys move in silence.
Yeah.
My social media is open for the world to see. There's nothing on my social media that nobody can see unless you're blind.
Okay.
So that's, for me, that's the fail-safe of keeping my business. I can have women running through this house left and right if I want to. I just don't. I don't need the stress. Earlier, middle last year, late last year, what was I talking about? The whole paternity nonsense that I had to endure? That was 20-some-odd years ago. So my life is pretty open in terms of the things I've did and how they've affected my life and why I move in the way that I do. I've even talked about the 6 years I went celibate because I had to deal with another nonsense paternity issue. So trust me, the way that I
really ain't trying to have no babies.
No, it wasn't even about that. It was the fact that she lied. So that's why I govern myself in the manner that I do. That's why I say about 90% of the women that I encounter, whether directly or indirectly, I'm not interested in. Have a conversation, sure. Go somewhere and take in a ball game or something, sure. But beyond that, that's it. Ain't nothing else going on.
Hold on.
Dang, a ball game, not even dinner?
Yeah, what if the conversation provokes you to want more? What if you like, damn, I haven't had a time like this in a while. Like, and it may you may be interested in having more. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing her again.
No, because I know me.
Uh,
And I know ultimately what I want and how I want it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to a restaurant to get my eggs sunny side up. I'm going to either get them scrambled or over hard.
and she better not touch none of it.
Oh, I'm digging in that plate. I gotta make sure
Yeah.
it's not poison.
You'll never see me again.
Wow.
My food is not my. I tell people I have 5 non-negotiables. You can't play with my money. You can't play with my time, my families, my feelings, and my emotions. You playing with my food, that's a death sentence. I'll cut your throat.
Can't play
I'm not
with you
playing
during
with it. I'm making
September.
sure it's not poison.
No, you playing with my food. It's
Mm,
on my plate, it's mine. Just like if your ass is in my bed, it's mine.
Oh, shit.
Well, there you have it. Never a dull moment in the counselor's corner. Let's bring these days back. Where y'all old folks at? We ain't gonna stop.
That's why I say I'm not trying to go down that road. That's why I don't. It's the adage of my mother used to say this, bless her soul. Don't start none, won't be none.
I mean, I guess it's a good thing to become or come to that level of contentment with yourself to be okay. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a daggone codependent personality because
No,
I can
you're
go to
still
the bar by
young.
myself. I can go to the
No,
bar by myself. I can go eat by myself. I can do
but
all
hold
of
on,
those things
Shaughnessy.
by myself.
Hold on,
Sometimes I want to do it with someone else.
Shaughnessy. You have to realize what you want in life is different from what I want in life. But also, there's almost a 20 years age gap between us. So
But I think
wasn't
that's a
built
human emotion, though.
for
A
whom?
human feeling. For
For whom?
humans. For human
For whom?
beings. For humans.
Human adult men or women?
Or both. So you think
Go ahead.
are men, you feel like there is more men that are
What did
okay
you hold
with
on
being alone?
for a moment. What was the second word you said?
I don't know.
You feel. Men don't talk with feelings. Let me put it to you like this. If you're out at a function and you with your significant other, whether it's a husband or boyfriend, good boyfriend, you solid, and somebody says something to you off color, do you feel he should whip his ass or do you want him to whip his ass?
Neither, because I don't even want that. I don't even want that. Not for words. No. We're not about to do that. We're not about to fight and all of that other stuff because somebody
Okay,
said
so
something.
all right, fair enough. So when does that change from something you feel or something you want? Same situation. Does an individual have to put their hands on you?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between men and women. Men, we don't want to go there because somebody could end up giving their life.
Right. Agree.
So this is why when men say something to another man, the old adage, those are considered fighting words because men ain't doing all that talking.
Agreed.
It's hands up. So that's why when you say, do you feel? No, I don't feel. I think if I continue to do what I'm doing and do it as well and improve, that ultimately I'm going to get the results that I want.
Okay.
That means not dealing with a specific type of woman, and it has nothing to do with her ethnicity. Because I know a lot of people, he only dates white women. No, I date all kinds of women, but I date a very specific type of woman, and that I'm not going to disclose. I've disclosed it before, but I'm not going to disclose because
we already
when
know it's the kind that sign NDA.
No, it's not so much about that. That's secondary. The primary thing is when I say it, people look at me like I'm crazy. They say, what the hell is wrong with you? And How can you do that? And how can you find out? And the incredulousness just goes on and on and on and on. And I tell people, I said, I've been successful doing it for 20 years. I said, I don't have to convince you that I can do it. I'm in the midst of doing it.
Mm.
It's diabolical. It's this when the BGS and the like, they call it monk mode. So
I don't know. Something about me having a sign. Like I don't want. I don't know. Mm.
But I understand your position, and I'm not minimizing that. The two things you have going for you that I don't, that I never will. One, of course, is you're a female. You're a fully functional grown woman. Number two, you're a mother. You probably lived almost as much as your life as a mother as you have not being a mother. So it will be difficult for you to envision not having someone there. I am on the opposite end. I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum. I've never had that.
That makes sense.
So all I know is a house that's quiet, peaceful, serene. So in order for somebody to disrupt that, they're going to have to show me that their home life is equal to that of mine. And if they can't, the only thing she can offer me is conversation. We're not going to have sex. Why would I want to? Just because? Now, I've been there, done that a few thousand times. It don't really change anything. Open myself up to being vulnerable. Emotional intelligence, overrated. Matter of fact, Lucky's over there knocked out, lounging. The only one I got to deal with is Shadow, because Shadow wants to go outside. Chip and Paul's, they cool. 16 to 17-year-old cats. I'll take that. If I want to go somewhere, I'd look in the Rolodex, see who's there. It's kind of empty right now, but that's okay. I got to reload. Take a little bit of time, but that's okay. I'm not pressed.
Reload. How you going to reload?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it happens.
Okay.
I don't know. They just come out of nowhere.
For who, you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
it's them scrubs. That thing.
It's always going to be easier for women to attract men than men to attract women, regardless of how good, how well spoken, how well to do the man is. It's just the nature of things. Men are conditioned to pursue. Women are conditioned to either accept or reject.
But I feel like I shoot my shot.
I'm not saying
one of my main players. I shot my shot. I slid his DMs.
I've had women do that to me. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
When women slide into your DMs or come into your inbox, what do they say?
No. I meet women in real life. I don't that whole digital thing doesn't work for me. But I'm an old school. I'm an old school player from the Himalayas, as they like to say.
If a woman was to approach you in your on your social media, you would just immediately like turn it down and not even be interested?
More often than not, probably.
Okay. Interesting. Y'all know what I did?
What you do?
I sent the basketball emoji. I sent the basketball emoji shooting my shot. That's it. That's all it took.
See, I was lost. I had no idea.
I sent the emoji with the flying basketball, shooting my shot, and he fell right into it.
Okay.
And that's the thing. See, I'm very particular about the women that I want around me. So one of the things that wait a little insight about me. One of the things I look at from a female perspective is the way she dresses. I'm gonna say something that's gonna raise a whole lot of eyebrows, and people are gonna think I'm crazy. I refuse to date a woman who has holes in her jeans. That's a no-go.
Why?
Oh,
Wait, do they have
yeah.
to be in a certain part of the jeans?
No holes.
Oh, okay.
No holes.
Okay.
So you would
'Cause I-
never wear holes in your jeans.
Bingo.
Oh.
I'm not going to deal with a woman that does something that I don't do. Females wearing camo clothing, unless you've been in the military, that's a no-go. I just think it's disrespectful. That's just my position.
Talking about camouflage.
Yeah. I think camo clothes on a woman that's not in the military, that shit is crazy.
Herb got a lot of restrictions
You
with
got
urban culture.
It's a lot of rules.
Those aren't rules. Those aren't rules. Those are just my things. I haven't gotten to the rules yet.
Herbisms.
Yes.
Herbisms.
100 questions need to
Right.
come out.
Right. Can't wear
God.
camouflage, can't wear no jeans with no
Yeah.
hole. No,
No,
you know
you
what's
can-
so
no.
that
No,
was
no, no,
very
no, no.
that's very interesting that you said that
You
because
can
I
wear
was so
them. You can
Not
wear them.
around you.
Just don't expect me to deal with you.
No, I get what you're saying, but it's funny that you said that because the other day, I don't remember where I was going because it was still okay for me to wear jeans, but wherever I was going, I didn't want to wear jeans with holes in them. And Herb, when I say I had to look so hard to find some jeans with without holes in them, and I'm like, dang, all my jeans have holes in them. Like, what the heck do I be wearing in the winter? And I thought about it. I was like, I'd probably be wearing work clothes, but I'd be wearing scrubs or something. But I could not find for the life of me a pair of jeans without holes in them, and I was so irritated. And now I'm
I will
like,
tell you,
I gotta buy me some more
go
jeans.
look for a Levi brand. That's what
I
they don't-
have
they don't-
Levi's, and guess what, Herb? They got holes.
Levi?
Yeah,
Really?
I love me a distressed high-waisted Levi with some holes in them. Yeah.
No, I'm saying you can't find, and that might
No,
be
no, no. I'm
your
saying in
particular
my
style.
closet. I'm saying in my closet.
Oh, okay.
Like, no, I know they're out there, but when I was in my closet the other day, and I was just like, I'm gonna throw in a pair of jeans, and 9 times out of 10, I was probably going to somebody's school. I can't even remember. I might have been going to Zion's school, but I didn't want to wear jeans with holes in them. And I was like, dang, what the heck? Why don't I have no jeans without holes in them? All of them had holes. All of them. And I
Yeah.
finally found one pair, and I was like, woof, thank you, Jesus.
And I'm funny about women that wear leggings without sneakers. I think they're a lazy way to dress.
What are you gonna wear? Leggings without sneakers. What else do you wear leggings with? What do you
I've seen women wear leggings with shoes and call it dressing up.
We're gonna have to have a do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts. Piss people off. Do's and don'ts of herbisms.
no.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
no,
and they say, well,
I
I'm
agree
dressing
with
up.
you on that, Herb. You can't wear no leggings and no shoes, baby.
I'm dressed up. I'm wearing a shirt with a belt. And no, shorty, you're not.
Oh, I know them type of women that you talking about. Those the same women with the Bath and Body Works spray.
That's fine if you went in on a summer day. I have no problem. That's cool.
Mm-mm. No.
Because I'm not one that wears, even though I have a dresser full of cologne, I rarely wear it. Because I don't wear it to work. It makes no sense for me to wear it to work. What am I wearing it to work for? I work with another guy. I ain't trying to pick him up.
You got,
So I
you
got-
You don't wear it for
you got
yourself?
people that come in there though, young ladies.
Yeah, but that's the last thing I want to do. The
So you don't want
last
none of
thing I
them?
wanna do. No,
When
thank
I wear
you.
perfume, I wear it for myself. Like I be wanting to smell a certain way for myself.
For me, it's overrated. Now, if I'm going out to a function, I might put some on. But more often than not, hell, the way I'm dressed, the fact that I speak well, the fact that I can speak about multiple topics, that's going to draw far more people in than the way I smell.
I don't know about that.
It's not what you know. I'm telling you.
That ladies killer is a mean thing.
You got to keep in mind you're talking to a man who's actually run for public office.
Man. Well,
So I'm not your traditional rank and file brother. You want to talk about budgets? We can talk about that.
we
We can talk
definitely
about
I
got.
don't
policy.
know. A good scent gonna pull me in.
That's what I said.
Yes, but is it
That
going to keep
ladies
you?
killer.
Let me put it to you. Let me ask you this question. A good scent might pull you in, but is bad conversation going to drive you away?
Good point.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Now,
But
if I
see,
don't have
if you
scent, but I have
smell,
conversation,
if you smell good, you at least gonna have the chance. Now, if your bad conversation mess it up from there, then that's on you, bruh.
okay, that's understandable. But if I don't have a scent on and my conversation's
Then I'm
dynamic,
not even coming over there.
okay, that's fine. But see, what you don't realize is you've already helped me thin the herd.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Yeah, I got some shit popping off now, man. I got a list of stuff going on, man. It's gonna be a lot
See,
going on.
there's it's like Heavy D said in the song. There's always a meaning in a Heavy D statement. There's always a reason I do or I don't do something. Case in point, a couple weeks ago, and you weren't here. This is about a month ago, David, when somebody was trying to carve me up for not owning a car.
Yeah.
I had to ream her out real quick. All those people do is help me thin the herd. She wasn't worthy, but she didn't want to acknowledge that. So she came on here trying to dog me out. She didn't realize.
But aren't you in like a tri-state area though?
I'm in Niagara Falls, which is on the opposite side of New York City. But the thing about it is, I've constructed my life to where I don't need a car. Now, the rationale that this individual was trying to put upon me was that it expands my horizons in terms of working. Okay, well, let's look at this from a financial standpoint. If I go get a vehicle, how much is it going to cost
People
me to maintain?
carpool all the time, so that really don't mean nothing.
Say it again, Shaughnessy.
I said people carpool all the time, so that carpool to work all the time, so that really don't mean nothing.
Yeah, but they don't do it in this area so much. But the thing about it is this: if I go get a job paying me another $8-9 an hour, and I have to go get a vehicle, then
You gonna
that
spend
raises
that
the
money on the insurance and gas? That money is gonna be spent on insurance and gas.
This is what this individual didn't consider. Now, mind you, I haven't owned a car in 20 years. It really hasn't stopped me from doing a damn thing. I've been to New York City, been to Las Vegas. I tell people, when was the last time you drove to Las Vegas? Never. So why the hell would I need a car? I was in Toronto. Guess how I got there?
Plane?
I
Bus,
rented a
train?
car. No, I rented a car.
Oh. So you have a driver's license. You just don't.
Bingo. That's
Now,
what
if you ain't have a driver's license, that would be
Yeah, it'll be a little wild. Yeah. I don't
And
know,
that's what
but
the-
I mean, I don't know.
So you gotta realize I planned this. This isn't something I fell into. When I gave up my car and started looking for a house, I said, okay, I need something that's going to be close to where I work at. I need something that's going to be in proximity to the grocery store so I can walk there. I've achieved both of those things. Both of them were my primary concerns. And in the summertime, I'm a 10-minute bike ride from work. In the wintertime, I'm a 20-minute walk. I brought the appropriate winter clothing. I even walked in the blizzard we had a little over a month ago. No problem. Summertime, that bike, I've had my bike for almost 30 years. I put more miles on that bike than most people put on the car. And it doubles as a way for me to get exercise.
Very true.
Why would I buy a car? So I can say I have a car? I got a 2-car garage. Guess what's in my garage? My bike. Don't need a car. The car doesn't make me a better person, doesn't make me more punctual, doesn't make me anything. It's the car. It is the second greatest financial expenditure that people will have in their lives. Number one, a home. I have
Yep,
that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I just opened up the floodgates for more conversations and more posts in the counselor's corner.
Yes.
And you know, I got to go back and find that post, David, that I asked on my profile literally about 10 years ago. And I asked a couple of questions. And one of them had to do with the car. The other one was finances and this. And I asked him in successive days, and my man chimed in. He said, "Man, you can't be asking them questions like that. You know how these women are in this." I said, "There's a method to the madness." And then when I came in at the end of those questions, I said, "Everything that I asked is me. So you mean to tell me that because I don't have these things, you wouldn't date me?" And all of a sudden, they started shuffling. Well, no, that's not what we meant. We didn't know who you were talking about. But the thing about it is, you guys were answering these questions unknowingly that there was going to be some Q&A at the end.
But Herb, to be honest, I don't think if somebody was to ask me like, "Oh, would you date a man without a car?" My first answer, I would say no.
Understandable.
No.
And you and unwittingly you thinned the herd for me.
Especially if we don't live in New York or like a tri-state area. Now, if you're in a tri-state area like New York or something, I don't really think it's that serious. Like that's not that big of a deal. But I don't know.
Let me ask you this question. What do I need a car for?
To get around.
Get around where?
What if you need to get some bottles of water from the store? You can't put it on a bike.
I don't drink bottled water. Next question.
Would you get a motorcycle?
Possibly.
No, okay. Okay.
But Niagara Falls is so small that I can catch a city bus virtually anywhere. Get to where I do that when I go to Walmart. Catch a taxi back home. No insurance, no gas, no flat tires. No car not starting. None of that mess.
And you can go pick somebody up in an Uber.
I don't even do Uber.
Oh. What?
Niagara Falls is a city of 25 square miles. Trust me, I got it covered. Like I said, if I want to go to Toronto, I set myself up to where I can rent a car. I did the same thing when I went to Cleveland.
And they come pick you up, so.
I used to tell the couple cats that I worked with, I said, I had the game down so smooth. I said that I would plan weekends and go rent from Enterprise. And then they had the weekend deal where you could rent for the weekend for $30. I've been renting cars literally for almost 25 years.
Have you ever been in Niagara Falls?
Doing tourist things.
Oh, okay.
Like the actual, yeah. But not like out and about, no.
I mean, there's not a lot to do here in terms of what a citizen might do, but like I said, I'm not out because I work midnights. My day is completely different from what everybody else does. So I get up at noon, between noon and 1. I might work out a couple hours. I go back home, get something to eat. It's time for me to go to bed. So I'm up 9, 10 o'clock, go to work 7. For me, it gets to be kind of repetitive. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to get a car so I can drive to work when I can possibly walk, ride a bike. In the summertime, riding a bike around the falls is beautiful. Taking it out along the river out to North Tonawanda is even better. Riding out to Lewiston, if I decide to go that way, it's cool. Like I said, I have no problem telling the female that I don't own a car. We go somewhere, I pick up the tab, we golden. You ain't got to drop a dime. If we go out to lunch, we go out to dinner, you come pick me up, you good. But see, it takes a man with confidence to do that. And a lot of these guys, because they've been conditioned that you have to own this, and own this, just to get your foot in the door. I'm like, look, I'm not trying to get my foot in the door. What do you mean you're not trying to get your foot in the door? If a woman opens the door, I'm walking through it. The hell with a foot.
And I think that's
Go ahead, Dave.
And I think that's why some guys, they try to go with the higher price vehicles. They try to stay with the current fashions and all that stuff. And you really don't have to have all that if you got confidence in yourself and belief in yourself. So that's why a lot of guys, you end up seeing a bunch of people that look the damn same, and there's no uniqueness. So when you go out to certain spots, you're like, damn, they all look the same. The only way you'll be able to identify them is having conversation to be able to distinguish. But other than that, you're like, shit, they got on that, they got on the same thing, different colors and all that stuff. That's why you gotta, as a man, even as a woman, you have to find a way to stand out and be unique. Be different.
I agree. Yeah,
No
people
individuality.
you're falling into these people in their cars. Whole time the car being their mama name.
Yeah. This is true. We took this whole, we made this whole closing comment another segment.
Yeah, we did. Hey,
We go-
I'm always up for an AMA, which is a Ask Me Anything. So
We gonna get out of here, good people. We got some
Yes,
material,
y'all
whatever,
have
for
a
next time.
good
And we appreciate
night.
you, Shaughnessy, and
y'all
keep
take
doing
care,
well.
man.
And we'll
Good to
talk
see
to
you,
you
son.
soon.
Yes, you too. Have a good night.
All
All
right,
right,
good
y'all
night,
take care,
everybody.
man.
All right, peace.